All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Shadow of the Earthspur. We're going to pick up where we left off from last week. Not any major announcements, really, for Mythical Family. We do have lots of things that we're discussing, doing for Halloween and around Halloween next month. We'll have more details coming up on that as things get ironed out, but that is a holiday that several of us here enjoy quite a bit, so we're going to be doing some things with that. And
It's always Halloween.
yeah, still sort of working out the new setup with the audio and the video and whatnot, so feedback is appreciated. Let us know how the sound levels are. Let us know if somebody is too low or if you hear anything weird or echoes or crackles or any of that. We do have issues with one of our cameras that likes to freeze up and we don't always notice. So if folks go pantomime suddenly, let us know. Try and get our attention. We can fix it real quick. Sometimes we miss it. Last week we had an issue with the actual stream feed. The stream was really, really choppy. So even us monitoring it, we couldn't tell right away that it froze because it looked bad on our end. So hopefully our feed is better this week, and we are going to pick up with the group right where they left off. They had just had their negotiations with Jamar of the tribe of kobolds. They found mining bloodstone looking for something nondescript, and apparently they have some kind of arrangements with the human settlements in the area. But the meeting did not go violently, was confusing at several points, but didn't turn violent. And the group had decided that they found out what they were going to for the moment and decided to pack up and start heading back out of the area. They have resolved the issue, they're fairly sure, with what was going on with the Hamlet of Brusque. They found the problem and defeated the problem. They have a cartload of sick people that they're sending to the church at the larger city down the road, several days travel down the road, where they dispatched from, a city called Y, because it's at the Y of trade trails. And they were getting ready to go try to catch up with that caravan. They're going to be it's going to take them a while to catch up because they have ridden away from it and done things for a day while the cart has been going down the road. So they have some time to make up there, but we do pick up with you guys at the clearing where you had the fight with Paul, just outside the old buried kobold grotto. And yeah, your horses are there and fine. It's starting to move into afternoon. It's around 2:30. You've got several hours of riding you can still do. Your horses have had a few hours of rest, so they're okay between the night's rest when you got here and the rest today. They're not going to be winded or anything. You can ride them today. And it will be easy enough for you to skirt around Brusque or go through Brusque as you see fit, but you're just heading south and back toward the road, and that's where we'll pick up. You guys picked up a few things, bought some things from the kobolds, and yeah.
Yeah, let's avoid the town and go back around, and then back to the main road and catch up to the wagon.
Totally. I think that will be a good idea.
So yeah, let's try to make as much time as we can while we still have daylight, and then make camp.
Okay.
Yep.
You're becoming familiar with the terrain, so by the time it's starting to hit dusk and get dark, you're in kind of open enough terrain that you can push on for a couple hours and make better time if you want. You have gone south and around Brusque so that nobody knows that you're still in the area, and are back on the main road south out of Brusque that will take you to the main trade route. But you have a couple of hours on that route. So you can try to get to, push through and try to get to the main trade route, or after the day's riding and climbing and negotiating confused and all of that. If you guys want to make camp here, there are roadside spots here and there for that to happen.
I think that'd be good.
I say we push.
Yeah.
I wonder how far behind the wagon we are.
If the wagon was making its the pace you expected it to be, you may get to it tomorrow night or the following morning because it's had a full day.
Okay. Well, then I would say make camp, and then we can, set out early and ride harder and make up better time.
Sure.
What do you think?
Yeah. Either or is fine.
Either or is fine, yeah. We can do that.
It's like
I'm
we
good
either
for good.
we either push now or we push in the morning. So
True.
Yeah.
So
Do that.
let's get rested up and then start early.
Okay. So it only takes you an hour or so of sort of discussing things and going over everything that's been happening. You do find one of the sort of traveler shelters along the road, which is not much more than an old wooden shack. I mean, there's old rotted plank walls and whatnot, and a spot for a campfire nearby. There's a cooking spit over it. It's for people to take shelter from weather when they travel and whatnot, and that's
Perfect.
it's not an outhouse, but you can that sort of construction. It's just straight, simple as can be, but it'll keep.
it's a medieval rest stop.
It is. It's exactly what it is. And just because there aren't any farmsteads or anything right in this area for people to extend hospitality or anything, let you sleep in their barn or feed you or any of that,
So,
which would also be customary, but there's no one nearby.
what time is it?
You're pulling into that around 7:30 or so, so it's dark and starting to get a little chilly.
I'd say I would hunt, but it took me too long in the dark. I mean, it's not like I can't see it, but I've been wanting to catch like 2 rabbits. How long will it take?
I will let you take one check. You can spend, we'll say it's just an hour hunting in the area.
17.
Yeah, you find some small game. It's what you end up getting is several little game birds like quail.
Good.
That's
And just throw those on the spit and roast them then.
Mm-hmm.
Throw those on a twig and roast them.
I guess while
Um,
she's hunting, we're gonna set up camp, and then I'm gonna work on that necklace that I promised to make her out of the geode.
Yeah, and it can be rough.
Mhm.
You can break a crystal point
Okay.
off of it. I'm more so interested in reactions to me wearing it than
Okay.
okay. Anybody else gonna do anything for the evening? Because you guys, it's still a little early. You guys have been traveling and climbing in mountains, and you've been at Kobold Spear Point and stuff. So I mean, it's been a day, but most of it's been on horseback. So you're not exactly tired. You're just kind of trail fatigued.
now that we know that that symbol could possibly be connected to a group.
Mm-hmm.
Let's look at the stuff again, that book again, like where the symbol is in it.
Oh, okay. Pull out the spell book that Paul had
Okay.
and check for references on that for the symbol.
That's what you're gonna spend your evening
Yeah.
doing. Okay.
I'll check for
And then
that.
I'll look at no
Um,
context. Do you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like maybe?
Arcana's gonna be the closest thing. So just give me an Arcana check. It's gonna take you a little while.
Okay.
And just let me know what you get.
13.
13? Okay. So you're hunting. You're going to start doing homework. How about you guys?
Setting up camp and
Yep.
collecting firewood. That kind of stuff.
There's a little bit there. You do know it's customary to not just use it up and leave. So it's good to collect some and
Mhm.
make sure that the next folks, if they pull in, have wood. What about you, Jogaira?
That was the necklace I was working on.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
All
gonna
right,
take me a while to make it, I'm sure.
Make a. There's no crafting in this system, so just make a. I'll let you do either for this one. It can either be dexterity or intelligence. And
Definitely intelligence.
okay, so do intelligence. Add you're proficient with jeweler's tools, right?
Right.
So add your proficiency bonus, and give yourself. Well, no, you have the toolkit, so you're good. If you were at a bench or something, I would give you like a +2 bonus for having the tools and everything. But you're sort of doing this sitting on a log in front of a campfire, so.
Right. It's a little more difficult.
It's also not going to be hard. So you're just
It's not going to be.
making a necklace out of.
It's not going to be exquisite or anything like that. Oh,
Alrighty, so you
okay.
do
5.
get some stuff to eat, and you clean and cook the game. Joe, what you're noticing early on, this is going to go into the evening for you, but what you're noticing early on is a lot of it is it was a reoccurring symbol, and Paul didn't know what it was. He talks about there being, he seemed convinced that there was something magical or arcane about it that he wanted to understand. He doesn't go into what led him to think that. These aren't like research notes. These are just kind of it's kind of the journal of somebody who wasn't all there.
Yeah.
So something did, however, convince him that there's something mystical or arcane about this symbol. And he goes through different things. He's tried drawing it or setting a fire in that shape or burning wax into that shape. He's tried different things to see if he can understand what makes the symbol up. He has tried comparing it to other arcane symbols he knows. Is it a combination of? Is it part of? Is it one symbol sort of part of one symbol matched with another? There was a lot of things that it looks like utter novice trial and error, but to him, this was a puzzle piece that he knows goes somewhere, and he was trying everywhere he could to make it fit.
Okay.
You'll get more as you spend time on it, but that's what you're seeing at the start. Is
Okay.
He's convinced there's something mystical about it. He's just trying to figure out what.
Where? Yeah. And not placing it yet. Okay.
Mort also says hydrate.
Beat you to it.
Who says that?
Mort.
Oh, he's multitasking because he's talking trash about me in Discord. So multitasking more. All right, we will hydrate.
We're going to be
Maybe.
multitasking.
Is that gonna explode?
Multitasking.
No, let's not multitask. I'm sure that's an infringement of some kind of copyright.
Sounds like a first level.
It's the really poorly controlled version of Unseen Servant. It just kind of fumbles about, and brings you random things. Is this what you want? No.
It's like, well, because that's all I can expect from this spell.
Brings you a half-eaten banana. Yeah. Thanks. No.
Multitasking.
Okay.
Here's your shoe and hat. Oh, thanks. Shoe and hat. Great.
I'll find the other shoe and the rest of what I need. Great.
All right. So, yeah, you guys eat, start to rest and everything. Firewood's been gathered. Necklace is made. What did you get for the check?
22.
22. So it's really symmetrically and very nicely wound, because that's really all you're able to do is sort of wire wrap it and solder it, sort of melt it a bit. But it looks quite nice. You're actually quite pleased with it, given what you have to work with. You can do better work, but
In the middle
you're
of
also
nowhere.
camping.
Right.
Here you go. Look at how shiny it is. It reflects in the sunlight or in the firelight.
This is absolutely perfect. This is actually way better than
Light shiny.
This is amazing.
I know. Maybe I'll go ahead and let you have it now. It's shiny.
Mm,
All right.
Too much conversation with kobolds over here.
The kobolds rubbed off in the wrong way.
Oh no, we've caught kobold by osmosis.
Exactly.
I pick it up and hold it up to the firelight. Seriously, this is absolutely beautiful work. I mean, you're in the middle of nowhere, and I'm really impressed.
Well, thank you. You should be.
And it
I mean,
helped
you are-
that he
thank you.
also picked Jogaira took the time to pick a very nice piece out of the geode, so it's a very beautiful piece of crystal as well.
Is there a way that I can attach the pendant to the choker that I'm wearing? Is this the cycles of the moon? So it's just a really thin, like silver choker, and then there's
We're not hydrating again. Stop that.
the cycles of the moon, like crescent and full moon, all the way across. So I would just want to affix the pendant like near the full moon, or under to have it hang under the full moon. So I'll take the necklace off and hand it to you. Be so careful with this.
Oops. I'm just kidding.
And I look like I'm about to shock him.
All right, give me a moment.
That's not even a check. That's easy. You have the tools and you know what you're
We
doing.
know
so
how to have things on.
That's you're gonna hand him the necklace. Make a dexterity save. No, that's. I'm talking about him
How about
attaching.
an athletics check?
I'm
now?
talking about him attaching the pendant.
This is
Smart
now a
ass.
drinking stream.
Yeah, apparently,
really.
yeah.
It's gonna be a peeing stream if that keeps up, sir. Never mind, I recant that given what may or may not be on Twitch. So thank you.
More than one meaning right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we're not on kick, so we haven't made that transition yet.
Not going to.
All right. Anyway, are you guys all going to sack out? Are you guys setting up a watch rotation? If so, what's the order?
How far away are we from the town?
From Brusque?
Yeah.
About a 2.5-hour ride.
Oh, okay.
You made it all the way
That's
to,
pretty-
back
I mean-
to Brusque, around it, and well away from it.
I don't mind watching first if we need to.
Our visibility is pretty good.
Yeah. We're
Oh,
not
yeah.
hidden by any means.
We're not in the forest or anything.
We're
Yeah.
obvious.
Okay.
There are a couple of large trees around, but it's not forest. They're just sort of scattered.
Are there like reports of bandit attacks?
Periodically all
Yeah.
across the countryside, but you haven't seen anything like that while you've been here.
Okay.
This northern path off of the trade route is pretty isolated. In fact, the only thing that has been on it that you've seen is Brusque, so unless you're going there, you've got no reason to be on this road.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think we need to set up watch.
So Tristan's passing on watch.
I'm probably going to stay up a little bit later. The moon is in waning gibbous form, so I'm going to.
Then I'll zonk out if you're going to be out.
Yeah, I'll be up for a while.
Meditate and put your new crystal out. Okay, so you'll take the first few hours of watch. We'll say it's around 9 when you guys start this after eating and jeweling and doing a little bit of reading and whatnot. There's more that if you take a rotation, there's more of that you can get to later. So yeah, you watch till about midnight or so.
Yeah.
Okay. Who are you gonna? Since there wasn't an order established, who are you waking up? Bearing in mind that it is dark at this point.
Right. I'm like, Has it been quiet?
Yes.
I'm just gonna let him sleep.
You're gonna stay awake?
No, I'm just gonna let him sleep.
Okay. All right. So you crash out.
I don't like that.
Roll initiative.
Yeah.
What? You feel something licking you.
Eric, you need to make your first death saving throw.
We are not.
No. Alamar, make me a Constitution check. It's not a save, just a check.
Okay.
See how heavily you're sleeping.
And so my roll plus my Constitution modifier?
Yeah.
13.
13? Okay. So, sometime in the middle of the night, you do wake up. You've got an internal clock or something that just sort of tells you something's wrong. You wake up, your fire's still going, but it's definitely burning down. It hasn't been tended to. I'm burpy because people keep making me drink. Um, and you sort of assess the situation, checking to see who's by the fire, who's in the little shed and whatnot. And it's not a startling realization or anything, but you do come to enough to realize that nobody's on guard. Tyrnald apparently went to bed.
Okay.
Everything's quiet.
Everything's quiet.
Yeah.
Everything's here. Okay. I'll rummage around. I'm not gonna make up.
I was gonna say noisily, so somebody
No,
wakes
no,
up for
no,
guard.
No, I'm just gonna rummage around.
Passive aggressive
Stab.
calling.
No,
Dorm
one's on watch. No,
Oh, since you're awake.
no, I'm not gonna do that. No, I'll just get some of my stuff and I'll just quietly read something and just stay.
Well, you've got the thing that you were looking into. I mean,
Yeah.
you can get back to that if you want. Are you going to keep the fire going, or are you going to let it die out?
At this point, it's probably way past. I mean, past midnight. Everything else, it's cool. I'll let it die off.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you're sitting there reading about the symbol, and you got what, a 13 on the check. So there is some indicators from Paul's notes that they're not real detailed yet that you can see, and there's not a lot of this stuff here. Just seems like something he was fixated on. But there is something in the book that he apparently saw somebody make this gesture, like use this symbol on the crates or whatnot, and the arcane weave in the area reacted. There's some actual evidence that there's actually something magic to it.
Okay.
Paul doesn't know what it was, and Paul had no friendly interaction with the kobolds, so anything that he saw was from a distance. But you do find something in there that indicates that there's probably something arcane about it, but you don't know what it is yet.
Okay.
And you're up for probably about 2 hours doing that, just sort of getting settled in, warming up a little bit by the fire before it dies out, reading, putting up a candle so that you can read. And there's you're still a little tired, and there's just sort of this sense of kind of heaviness that just sort of settles over the camp. You hit that moment where you're not sure maybe whether you're asleep or awake. Everything gets really still. And then one of the things that you notice is the fog that's moving through across the road and around a couple of the trees. For you visually, gets very slow. The movements are very, very molasses-like. And there is, you swear, you hear like pipe flute music down the road.
Oh.
Just kind of coming through the fog.
Okay.
That's not creepy.
Okay. That's strange. So,
You're just sitting there reading. You're at a mode where you're sort of lethargic, and
here's what's going to happen.
magic missile into the darkness.
Yes.
You know what it is? We all ate hallucinogenic quail.
Right. What?
We microdosed on bird.
Did you see if they were spotted quail before you cooked them?
Oh my
You didn't even check, did you?
Come on, the moon is out.
All right, I'm gonna go. Tristan, hey, Tristan, I'm gonna nudge. Wake up. I think there's something. I can hear something over the fog. Can you hear it?
He does not wake up.
Hey,
He's laying.
Tristan.
He's laying there. He does not wake up.
Okay, here we go. I'm like, this is not right.
The music's a little louder. It sounds like maybe it's approaching on the road. And there's, like I said, just like, not pan flute, but just like wooden flute music. You hear a little bit of a...
All right.
And it sounds jovial.
Okay.
Not when I'm on this much
No,
bird.
Yeah, not when I'm on this much bird.
Okay, so using a modicum of thaumaturgy, I'm gonna make it very obvious and just within like in the camp if I can, like, hey guys, wake up! There's something here.
Okay. All three of them are sort of in bedrolls in the shed here, and here's what we're gonna do now. To the channel. That's okay. You don't know what's going on. There you go. Not the full-blown VTT experience, but there you go. You have a map. I would share it with the viewers because I do really love the viewers, but we're not set up for that yet. So you are still theater of the mind with us.
You're starting me to see.
So there's that just a little wooden shack, and
Okay.
everybody else is on bedrolls in there. You've been out by the campfire.
Yeah. Okay.
And I forgot what to do. From what would be the right side of the picture
Mm-hmm.
is that's the direction of Brusque.
Okay.
It's the direction you came from.
Mm-hmm.
You hear not loud, but jovial music. Honestly, it sounds like a troupe of players that just sort of can't ever not be playing their instruments.
So
Drummers are always drumming, that kind of thing.
the fire's out and everybody's inside the structure.
Mhm.
We're camped. I'm getting in there then.
Okay.
Because if they're not waking up, and I want to peer through a slat, a window, or something, be inconspicuous, and I'm looking for these people coming down because people don't do this in the middle of the night.
Okay.
What are these crazy people doing?
Okay. So again, everything, the air just feels still and heavy,
Mm-hmm.
and the fog is slowly drifting. Everything feels heavy enough that it's really quiet, except for you trying to wake people up and this music. There are no windows in this. It's designed to be just a shelter for the night.
Yeah.
So there's no windows. However, it's crappily built enough that you can sort of peek out
See a
between the
crack
boards.
or a slat or something.
And you do see through the fog down the road, it would just start off as like yellow orbs, but it looks like maybe lanterns on a wagon, just kind of approaching through the fog very slowly.
I don't like that.
Like at maybe a walking pace for a person.
It can walk right on by. Okay. I don't like it at all. So, and if everybody else is just kind of, if this is like a weird waking dream or something and no one else is moving and I'm the only one who's seeing this, I'm all like, I don't want this. It's going to be a horror movie where something's going to grab me out of the dark and I'm like, oh my God. So we're just going to fixated watching the things come, and I'm hoping they're just going to go straight on by.
Okay. So yeah, eventually, after several more minutes, you do see a couple of figures start to just appear as shadows through the fog, and they're walking on the road. And you can hear behind them the just kind of groans and creaks of a wagon with wooden wheels coming up the road. It's you still see the lights, which are probably the lanterns on the wagon for traveling at night. And it looks like a couple of people are walking in front of it, and one of them does have and I am going to kick myself for forgetting the name of it, but they have the drum that has the baton that you flip back and forth. And they're playing it, and they're playing it lightly because it is late. And there is the person on the other side of the road, as you're looking at them, it would be the right side of the road, sort of just, we'll call it noodling on a wooden flute, just playing it nice and soft and slow. And they walk up the road. As they step out of the fog, more and more details become apparent. It's probably just a minute and a half, but it feels like a really long, tense time for you as you're staring through the wooden slats. And you can eventually, when they get to be within about 20 feet or so of the cabin and almost directly in front, because the cabin's set back from the road, they are they look like players or bards or musicians of some kind. They're not wearing jester type hats or anything like that, but they're wearing ruffled collars and big sleeves and whatnot, and they seem to be dressed colorfully, and they're walking and sort of dancing with their own little tune. And the wagon hasn't come into view yet, but is creaking behind them. The wagon looks like it's probably 50, 60 feet behind them, and they're walking in front of it on the road.
Okay.
Potentially just sort of making noise so that the wagon knows where to follow and that it's okay to still follow if they were going to travel at night.
Okay. None of this is okay. Okay. All right. I fish for a torch.
Okay.
And all the while, I'm going to be lightly just punting the sleeping people. Like, you guys gotta wake up. You people have to wake up.
Everybody seems to be really, really soundly sleeping, Alamar.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna wave my hand over my torch and light it, and I'm gonna go outside.
Okay. The moment you light the torch and it lights up inside the cabin, the music and the wagon stop outside.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's open that door to the shack we're in, and I'm gonna step out and around very deliberately, not like I'm rushing or anything else.
Okay. So the two things in front of the cabin are they're just cloth awnings, just to help keep moisture and stuff off where the firewood is stacked. Basically directly down on the road from there. The two people are standing on the edge of the road, just sort of looking at you. They're still holding their instruments. One's holding their flute like with both hands in front of him, and the drummer has his little arm drum to his side, but he's still kind of tapping on his leg with the baton. It's quiet enough that it's not making any noise, but he's still fidgeting. And they're watching you because they apparently didn't expect anybody to be in there.
Evening, friends.
They don't say anything. They just sort of stand there, dark and silhouetted on the road, I guess.
All right, I'm like, heard you coming. Planning on staying, or are you moving on?
Depends. Make a reflex save.
Okay. Sure.
Just all.
The dexterity save?
Yes.
Okay.
Old version. I don't know.
8.
8. Okay, so quicker than you can respond, one of them closes the 20 feet between you and the door and is right in front of you and has their face in the crook of your neck and just
Alrighty then.
and it was supernaturally fast. It wasn't a person running, it was a blur and they're there.
Personal space violated.
That is both horrifying, Joish and Alamar.
Just right here, just sort of just smelling. You have a hood usually, so
Yes.
basically it's not smelling your hair or anything. It's just smelling right here because you're all bundled up. But yeah, just
This region.
Mm-hmm.
Out.
mm-hmm.
You smell
They're
yummy
close
tonight.
enough now
Yeah.
that this person looks like a half elf performer of some kind. They do look really gaunt, but they're looks like a half elf traveling performer.
Okay, I'm making some space. I'm stepping back a few. What? Do you need anything? What are you doing?
It turns and faces its companion. It turns away from you, just completely unconcerned, and seems to mouth something. You can see the movements. It says something, but there's no sound. So, like, just sort of mouths something to their friend. And that, you've stepped back. They're arm's length away, but they're still right there.
It's dinner time.
I don't like-
You smell yummy tonight.
Gotta wake up. Gotta wake up.
I'm getting into the spirit, Mort.
Mort wanted to know if we started the Dread game before Halloween.
Oh.
I'll get out my tiny Jenga.
I'm about to make the thing fall. So.
Okay.
Anything? What?
Okay. Well, if you're not doing, I'm giving you a window. So,
No. Okay. Yeah.
he-
About anything, you guys? What are you doing? What do you got?
We're stacked
If
out.
there's anything left on the
no, he's
fire,
no. If there's
if there's
some
anything
embers.
left, I'm gonna light that. Just wave my hand over, get that lit, so there's a little bit more light, so I can see anything else.
using what prestidigitation.
Yes. Yes.
You can make it flare, but unless you put more wood on it, it's not
not
actually
gonna
going to
last.
stay
Okay,
lit because
okay,
you did let it burn down.
So it's gonna be my torch. Okay. Friends, I need you to move on. This is very strange.
Oh, we don't stop and rest. That's not the life.
I encourage you to move on.
I won't make you roll for it. It occurs to you suddenly that this conversation has been entirely nonverbal. This person has not ever actually spoken. The little bit of color that it had, you see it just sort of wash out and get just deathly pallid and gray. And it holds up its hand, and carved into its hand
Mm-hmm.
is the symbol you've been looking at.
Oh. Well, that's great. Okay.
Well, at least you found what you're looking for.
What? It'll be a mistake. Okay, I see the symbol. I'm looking right at him, and I will make the symbol in the air, and using my cantrip, I'll just boop, make it shine in the air right there.
Okay. The creature looks at you, and its eyes just flash to hollow black, and there's just a and there's just this arcane shockwave that rocks through the camp. And roll initiative. You guys can all roll initiative too, because you will be waking up from that.
Alrighty.
But you are waking up and whatnot. You're not going to be
Dexterity modifier.
So, no, I don't.
So it'll be this first round, one more full round, and then you guys.
17.
Okay, 17.
15.
Elamar, 17. Tyranil. Jogaira.
15.
Oh, well, you're definitely going to go first. Okay. And Tyranold. Tristan.
17.
You're probably going to go first too, with a tie. I'm going to guess you have better dexterity than he does. I'm going to guess you have better dexterity than she does.
None.
Because
I just rolled.
okay. Oh, yeah.
I just rolled high. Don't get a huge bonus.
And good initiatives, but you don't get the jump on them. What you see, because you did step back, the one in front of you comes at you, and his hands light up with green fire and then sort of coalesce into what looks like just sort of a phantasmal, just chewed up and jagged dagger. Not like an ornate dagger, but just like a rusty piece of garbage. And it comes at you. Oh, well, we'll get that one later. It rolled under the laptop. I'm pretty sure he hits you. A 20 hits you?
I think it'll be worth it. I'll put my hand up really quickly, and I'll use my shield.
Okay.
My level 1 slot, and that'll put my AC at 20.
Okay. So you just, with that, you barely deflect it, but you do. And it tries to push through the shield and then slides off the shield to the side. That is your reaction. Remember that. The other one bursts from the road and throws open the door to the cabin that you have taken a step back away from.
Okay.
And yes.
So you and that thing are in the cabin?
I'm outside,
Mhm.
but close to the fire.
He was outside the door.
Yeah.
He stepped out to talk to them and then took a step back away from the thing,
Yeah.
like up away from the road.
This way.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think my visualizing.
If we had the full VTT, we could keep track of where everybody is,
Yeah.
but the map was just a quick
But
visual out.
This looks really cool.
That was like 5 minutes in Dungeon Alchemist, which I'm learning and recommend highly.
So the other thing threw open the door to the cabin.
Burst from the road and
So I'm
got to
guessing
the
this
door
is-
and throws open.
these are little awnings.
Over the
awnings
door,
and
that's
then
what I
the door's
thought.
right there,
Yeah.
so
So
I'm just,
yeah, it's just a square cabin with a couple of awnings out front. And I will describe, because that's going to be one of the first thing you guys see, and I will describe that when it gets around to you. But what
Can you
you
guys
see,
see it
Joe,
when
is them
this
come,
Mhm.
just throw the door open and in the doorway. And then it is your turn. Then it is your turn.
Okay.
They're all bundled up right there. You can just fireball right there.
That would be a great wish, but you're waking up now, maybe. No, this guy's right on me, so I'm going to use I'll use my shocking grasp on him.
Okay.
So that's going to be 18.
18. Oh, definitely hits.
Okay.
Is there a save for that one?
No, it's a touch.
'Kay.
And then on a hit, it'll do D8 damage, and then I can disengage freely.
Okay.
So that's 7. And I'm definitely running back a good 20 some odd feet from that thing.
Okay.
I want some distance. Is it just the two? What's the wagon
It
doing?
is just the two so far. The wagon is still down the road. You can see where it stopped because it's hanging lanterns.
Yeah.
You still see the yellow orbs in the mist. It doesn't seem to be approaching.
But I couldn't see anybody else pass it if I wanted to.
No, and you don't hear anybody else coming.
Okay.
You also feel that this person, because you did a touch and lightning spell,
Mhm.
it is not as effective as you would have expected it to be, and it seems to be because they're at least partially incorporeal.
Okay.
It did, however, hurt.
It hurt, but
yes.
yeah, not the full effect as desired. Okay.
And
But-
you disengage and back up?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I back up 20.
Well,
Somewhat.
you can't disengage, but he gets no. You can take your movement. Disengage is an action, but you don't.
It is, but I mean, he can't.
He gets
yeah.
no reaction.
He
so
gets
we're-
no. That's what I mean. Yeah.
Okay. So then, top of the initiative order. Okay, so you guys are coming to and scrambling to your feet. Yeah. What you guys wake up to? There's like this concussive thump all over your body that kind of wakes you up, and this just awful shriek that sounds like it came from right outside. And you guys look around. You take just a moment to assess. The three of you are inside. You're not sure where Alamar is. You don't know what's going on, and the door bursts open, and there's what looks like a traveling actor or performer of some kind. Throws open the door with a hostile posture, and you guys watch as their eyes go black, and their just gray and lifeless visage sort of shines in a little bit of the light, and it just hisses and comes in the room. So, top of the order is them. Joe, the one is going to come at you again. However, what is their total? Does a 14 get you?
No, my AC is 15.
Okay. So it does come at you, and it's slashing at you with this sort of just spectral, rotten knife.
Okay.
So it does move back away from the cabin and to you, and is just trying to fight you like a knife fighter, just lots of swings but does not land.
Got it.
And the other one, wasn't expecting the fight to be in the cabin, jumps at Tristan. So as you're getting up, this thing comes at you and tries to hit you with it has this sort of spectral transparency to it. You can see what it is, but you're getting clubbed with a ghostly bowling pin, essentially. It's just this bowling pin shaped, it's a big, comically exaggerated, like truncheon or bludgeon.
Okay.
And same thing, does a 14 catch you?
Yes, it does.
Okay. So, da-da. All right. 1, 2, 4. Yeah, 5 points of damage. It's necrotic. I don't think that matters to you. And you do need to make a Constitution save. 13 is good enough. You feel there's some sort of arcane effect when it attacks you and intends you harm.
Okay.
but you shrug it off. It feels like it was trying to sap your strength. Alrighty, so that was them. Tristan, it will be your turn.
Okay. I will attack with my short sword
Okay.
and a dagger in my offhand.
Okay. And you were all in close quarters, so you will count as having an ally nearby.
Oh, okay. So that's a 16 with the short sword.
That hits.
Okay. And that counts as sneak attack, so let's see, that's 5 plus, so 6 total.
Okay.
That's with the sneak. And then the dagger is a 19 to hit. I think that's just a 1d4. So 2 more points.
Okay. 2 is the full damage you did with it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. It seems to be a little bit incorporeal. Your weapons drag through it, and it does seem to react to being hit, but they are not flesh and blood.
Okay.
Alamar, you are up.
Okay. He's come back at me, so
Yes.
the safest recourse again is shocking grasp for me. So I'm going to do that again. 18, 22, 23.
23. 23 hits.
Okay. So we'll do the, what is that, 6 damage for that. And I don't want to go like way in the woods or anything. I'll jet off to the side and kind of make my way around the opposite end of the fire then.
So you're circling?
Yeah, I'm circling. Yeah.
Not just
Flat
flat out.
No. I'm circling around the other side of by the fire there.
Okay.
I'm not just gonna stay toe to toe. That's just not smart for me.
Alrighty. Then Joe Gyra, you see this person try to attack you guys in your sleep, and it is brawling with Tristan. And you guys are all essentially within arm's reach of each other. It's a tiny little cabin.
All right. With my hammer, I'm going to focus on a piece of furniture or a log or something like that. That's kind of like 1 to 5 pounds, and just catapult him.
Okay.
Catch.
Okay.
So it's DC 13 for him.
To get out of the way.
Yep.
5. Nope.
You get
You
hit.
hit it with your backpack.
Ouch. 14, 19 points of damage.
Okay. Wow.
Metal back.
And it's
Wow.
bludgeoning.
Hmm?
Bludgeoning.
Bludgeoning.
Yeah, the backpack does go through him and to the outside. Like
But
right,
there's
it
an enormous hole.
doesn't bounce off of him or anything. It goes through him, but you do see him react to it going through him and just recoil back, and appears to be very unhappy. But is still there and still mad. Tyranild, you're awake and getting to your
Oops.
feet as well.
Yeah. Way to go. She made it more mad than it already was.
So
I'm glad it's on you.
Yeah.
I'm watching this happen, and as you know, slinging my shield up as I'm getting to my feet or jumping to my feet, and realizing Alamar's not there, so I'm yelling for Alamar, and I'm gonna. How far am I from the doorway? I don't know where I am in the cabin.
You're sort of all piled into the back corner of the cabin away from the door. Your packs and stuff were by the door. And you're basically kind of curled up in 5-foot sections. So you're against the back wall away from the door. It is quiet enough that you are hearing, because Shocking Grasp cannot be a quiet spell, and it is quiet. So you're hearing magic and lightning go off outside.
Mhm.
You hear that? Zzz, zzz,
Yeah.
zzz.
No, and it would be like, get off of
Familiar to
me.
me.
you
Yeah.
Familiar to me. I
Who
am
put up the bug light?
gonna.
Yeah.
Can I cross the 5
got that
feet or
warm
so,
glow.
10 feet to the door? I'm gonna put my back in the door frame because I want to look out to see if he's alive or what he's doing.
The creature attacking you in the cabin is in the doorway.
Oh, it's still in the doorway.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought it moved into the doorway to grab you. Okay. Or moved into
Well,
the cabin to grab
It
you.
stepped in to grab Tristan, but it's still occupying that space because you guys were all laying down. It didn't have to go very far.
I was hoping
Okay.
to kind of pull him out there, but didn't
yeah.
realize it's incorporeal.
So then I guess.
Re-murder that thing.
Yeah. And I mean, obviously, I was awake, so I saw your backpack go through it. So I am.
And you're familiar with the catapult trick. Jogaira does it frequently, so you know exactly what happened. He flung something heavy at it. and-
Right. And it just
More
went,
poltergeist action.
Yeah.
You hear a little girl's voice. They're here.
Exactly. We couldn't have a static TV, but well, we can come up with some equivalent.
A viewing orb, like
It's all just white and black fans.
Yeah, I need that thing out of the doorway because I have no idea what's happening to Alamar. So I'm gonna come at it and
Come at me, bro.
try to, I mean,
you want-
put my hand flat out because I'm not even sure what I can grab, but to shock it.
Okay. with what?
Shocking press.
Natural 20.
Oh.
Oh, wait a minute.
Where'd it go?
So
Do you have another die?
I have so many.
gonna say,
I have
gonna say
so many.
you're gonna thunder wave because if you thunder wave, you can probably exit this place anywhere you want. At that point.
Well, the big day would be.
Well, the roof might fall down.
Collateral.
It's a natural 20.
Nice.
Nice.
Okay.
All right.
And we just went through that. There's no save for that because it's a roll to hit. So roll your damage and roll twice as many dice.
Wrong one. 4.
Total 4 on 2 dice.
I took the lower roll from this one because I rolled the wrong die. And
Oh,
rolled the correct
okay,
die. Sorry.
But you did roll a total of 2 dice and add them. Okay.
So,
Okay. Yeah, you also get a sense that this thing is not fully there.
okay.
And it does react to the electricity and is not happy. And we are back to the top of the order. So the one that you just grasped, since you stepped up and shocked it, it's going to try to swing its balloon-looking truncheon at you. A 7 is not going to hit you. So you do you're in close quarters with this thing. You do step back, and it gets this big backhanded swing, and it actually hits where your necklace is, and stops like your necklace is armor. And the one outside, Joe.
Well, when he does that, I'm gonna scream at him because I'm panicking about Eleanor being out there with Wrath of the Storm as a reaction because he.
Do they need to hit you?
Oh, I guess
Because he
it does.
technically missed.
Oh, I guess it does.
Okay. That's just your necklace being what stopped it is just fluff. He chases you a little bit and stops and smiles and switches hands with the knife
Mm-hmm.
and flings it at you.
Okay.
17.
Okay. Another deflect then, and I'll block it with another shield.
Okay. So yeah. So it completely reflects off the shield and flies. And you see he does this, and another one just materializes in his hand.
You do. Of course you
And he's smiling and comes running after you. That's all he can do. But he stopped to throw the knife and it didn't work, and he makes another one and he comes running after you.
Yeah.
So he is within melee range now,
Okay.
but he doesn't have an action. And Tristan, you are next.
I will do the same attack.
Okay.
Oh, that's probably a miss. 6
Oh.
with the sword.
Yeah, you need a better than a 6. Yeah.
And then the dagger is...
He's not trying to help you hit him. So.
Nope.
No, dagger misses too.
Yep.
What'd you get?
7.
7? Oh, 6 and 7. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, Tristan's dancing. Okay. Alamar.
I don't want him next to me is the problem, but I can't do much else about that.
Well, that was his movement, so you can move and then back away.
If I back away, though, he'll get an opportunity to attack me.
We're gonna flavor text that and no.
Okay. Because I want to get some space.
Because he tried to attack you and came back up to you. We're gonna simultaneous that.
Okay.
You can move away.
Okay. Because I want to back up. So if he did
Because you're not waiting for him to be in your face for you to move. So.
Okay. So
We'll
I'm going
let
to
that
give
go
myself some space. I'm going to quick grab the scepter from my hip where it is, and I'm going to pull out on it and just make an orb of fire and direct it towards him.
Okay.
All right. Let's do it. It is an
Stop
attack
it.
roll +5. Okay.
It's a game of description, Mort.
14.
14 hits.
Oh, nice. Okay, good. I was worried that wasn't going to hit. Okay. So that's going to do 5.
And that's another one. You have a hit roll, so he doesn't get a save, right?
17 damage. Fire damage.
17.
Yes, because that was my chromatic orb.
Okay.
Holy.
And that's another one where you have a to hit roll, so he doesn't get a
Yes, so I have it's a ranged attack.
'Kay.
With the +5, and that was my roll, and then
Just
it does
trying to not nerf my bad guys,
3d8.
that's all. 17, nice. It immolates for just a moment. It actually, like, the fire stops and wraps around it, and it shrieks, just ah! And the fire, it has nothing to burn on, so it fades away, and its appearance doesn't change any because it's not really there.
Mhm.
But now it is continuing in its move, and
I was hoping it might have hit better. I'm trying. Lightning doesn't seem to hit at full force. I'm hoping fire might have hit it more substantial force. I don't know if that did or not.
it looks like that definitely hurt badly,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
not as much as you would have expected. You, with a damage roll like that,
Yeah.
you conjured a very nice orb.
Okay. And I'll continue to back up,
Okay.
give myself some more space so
Okay.
he can't just walk himself over to me. So, okay.
Well, he will be able to with his movement if he moves
Yeah.
instead of doing.
I want to make sure he has to get to me. Okay.
All right, so Jogaira.
Alrighty. Catapult didn't work. I didn't know he did that, but I'm gonna try Firebolt anyways.
Shock doesn't seem to have full force, so yeah, try
All right.
try different
Seems
things.
to be resistant to electricity and fire and backpacks, and I don't know what else to throw at
What
him.
else is? One of the natural elements is backpack. So, lightning, fire, and backpack. One of the 4 elements doesn't hurt. I don't know what else can.
Well, you don't like my backpack? Here's this to ya. Come on, hit.
If you're
I
playing
missed.
with that, it just has to make that sound.
Hmm?
It just has to make that sound.
Missed.
What'd you get?
2. Well, 7.
Okay, yeah, that does miss. So, in close quarters, there's a burst of flame, uncontrolled flame, between the lot of you. Nobody gets hurt, but you guys are all there rat packing this thing, and all of a sudden there's just like fire in the air between you all, and nobody gets hit somehow. It's awfully close to everybody. And then Tyranil, it's your turn.
As I'm like wildly
hit it with
waving the
fire?
fire away
Huh?
from,
You hit it with fire?
Try to hit him with fire.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
wildly waving the fire away
Should we
from
roll
my
to see if
hair.
the shack catches on fire?
It's all good from bad to worse.
Okay, just checking. Just checking. Because it's an old shack.
I really want this thing out of the doorway, so I'm gonna shock it again.
Okay.
Oh, damn it. Nope, 8.
Total of 8 to hit. Okay. You just can't seem to find any place to actually have it react. It's not like you're gonna miss it. You're hitting it with the electricity, and it doesn't seem to be finding purchase any place that's uncomfortable for it. I shouldn't have chat open. I'm trying to monitor everything because we don't have anybody actually at the computer. So.
I have it open here.
We'll start outside. Joe, it does run up to you, and it looks like it's actually trying to stab you in the legs to maybe slow you down because it's tired of chasing you. At this point, with all of your movement, and it's so small, if you're continuing the same path, you're basically coming around the back of it and almost out onto the road.
Yeah, fair.
Okay.
Just don't get run over by the wagon.
I know. No. If any,
You're like coming around this way to the road.
yeah, I probably see me coming along the side,
All
Can we
right.
see? Can we
backing
see
up,
through these things?
fighting, throwing things. Oh my
Yeah.
We
god!
can see through them.
Through the creatures?
Yeah.
No.
That's what
Or at least
No,
that.
they're appearance. But you can see like between the slats of the boards because it's.
Okay.
Or if I'm passing by the front door
doorway,
of
would I
the
have
thing,
been
you
able
can
to
probably
see 'em?
see me backing up and doing stuff.
Yeah, if you're coming around the back of the because you fell back. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you come back around the front, yeah.
Yeah,
But you have a good idea where Alamar is, and that Alamar is still moving around and fighting.
Okay.
17, Alamar.
that's a hit.
Okay.
I have no more hits.
So you do get stabbed in the leg for 9 damage,
Okay.
and I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
I can do that. Plus 4. So that's 15.
15 is good. Okay, yeah. There's something sort of painful and energy sapping, fatiguing about the attack, but you shrug it off. However, it is still a 9-point.
It's a good hit.
This ugly knife stuck into your leg and tore its way out.
Yeah. No, that's an excellent
Yeah.
hit.
And then the one inside, they're not real bright. Shrieks and tries to club Jogaira over the head. Oh, 22.
That's a hit.
Okay. 10 points of necrotic damage.
Ow!
And make a Constitution saving throw.
Ow!
And there's not a lot of physical touch or anything to it or impact. It's just agonizing pain.
Oh, Constitution, huh?
Yep.
Then nat 20.
Nice. Okay. So yeah, other than the pain, you don't even
saved that,
feel
you
the.
know. Could have saved that.
Okay. All right. So yeah, but you do get clubbed upside the head, and then Tristan, it is your turn,
Okay,
and yeah, you see it just, bam, just clobbered the gnome.
Same attack.
Okay.
See if I actually hit this time. That's probably a hit. 18.
18 definitely hits.
Okay, and then this is a sneak attack. Jeez, 3 plus 2, so 5.
Okay.
And then the dagger, 20 to hit. 30, 20.
Okay, definitely hits.
And then that's another d4. For an additional 1 point of damage.
1 point of damage. Okay. All right. It does not. It looks like it recoiled and reacted like, just a flurry of attack. It strongly reacted to your attacks. It looks like it's not doing good. Alamar, how are you doing?
I'm unhappy. It's gonna be, since he's on me again, it's gonna be another shocking grasp. So
Okay.
yeah, just get the hell away.
You could move and try to. If there's a spell you want to do, you can risk the attack of opportunity.
No.
Okay.
No. 19 is what I rolled. 19, 20.
Yeah.
Yeah, 24 then.
Okay. You definitely hit. Roll your damage.
Okay. 4.
Okay. Yeah.
And continue to back away.
Okay.
Yeah.
This thing is faster than you,
That's fine.
just so you know.
There's not much. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Jagaira.
All right, bastard. I'm gonna take out my mace. I'm gonna see if we have a +1 to do to it.
Okay.
Oh, that'd be nice. Maybe it'll be.
Maybe it do something.
Mm-hmm.
I better make sure I got the. Nope.
What's your total?
Nope. 6.
Total of 6? Okay. I will say this. It defends itself, but you feel your mace hitting this thing like it's a person.
All right.
You're unable to land anything that inflicts any damage or whatnot, but there's not a lot for anywhere to go because it also has not given up its ground. It seems like it's trying to block you guys in there, and it has stood there and taken all of this abuse. But your mace does seem to, when you're moving it around, make contact with it, like it's a person. You're unable to inflict any actual damage, though, unfortunately. Tyranild. This thing looks like it's barely able to stay in the doorway. It's staggering back on one of its legs. It's trying to hold its ground, but it looks like it is in bad shape. Yeah, about the motorcycle sounds. We have an annual festival in town right now. It's a motorcycle gathering called Street Vibrations. So there's Harley Davidsons and similar out and about everywhere. People ride in groups and whatnot. So it's a noisy week here, and we were worried about the noise actually getting caught by the mics. But I think, again, the filters that Vale found for us are muy bueno. We were just worried it was actually getting picked up because we have Harley Davidsons outside the windows 20 feet from where we are. So
That's excellent.
Divinity.
And which might be very potent against.
Well, I can't against this one. That's why these spells drive me nuts. Because that's radiant. It's not like Earth Thunder.
No, but if it's radiant damage, it would be excellent against undead.
But this isn't gonna work because it's only lightning or thunder.
Oh.
Frustration.
Oh, and do maximum. I
Uh-huh.
see. Okay.
So much frustration.
But even if you were to still cast that and do radiant damage against it, it would still hit hard against an undead.
excellent.
I'm not out of tricks yet. I'm almost out of tricks.
That's what you hear from the wagon of the darken. Excellent.
From fighting with this thing that it's undead?
Would you what?
Would I know from fighting with this thing that it's undead?
It seems to be some kind of specter. So yeah, it's specter or ghost or something like that.
Um,
it is undead.
So,
Your clerical spidey sense.
my fingertips are gonna trace the like phases of the moon around my neck while I'm whispering, and I'm gonna cast Turn Undead.
Okay.
Where's the other thing? Trait following you.
Somewhere towards the street.
Okay.
Or
You're
coming
moving 30 foot a turn, so you're coming back around to the front of the cabin at this point, and
Yeah.
it's right with you.
Can I can't use thaumaturgy at the same time to make my voice loud.
That's an action.
Yeah.
There's
Because if the undead can hear me within 30 feet of me.
Oh, just speak loudly.
Okay. So then I'm gonna yell.
they just have to hear you. You don't have to see them. They don't have to see you.
It says they can see or hear me
Okay.
within 30 feet.
Perfect.
So it doesn't. I don't have to see it, and it doesn't have to see me. It just has to be able to hear me.
Okay.
So it's got to make a wisdom saving throw.
What's your spell DC?
13.
Okay. Or what?
Or
It has
what?
to spend its turn trying to move as far away from me as it can. And it can't willingly move to a space within 30 feet of me. It also can't take reactions. For its action, it can only use the dash action or try to escape from
Okay.
any effect that prevents it from moving. If there's nowhere to move, the creature can use the dodge action.
Okay. And you're at the end of the round. Okay, that's more or less optimal. So, yeah, you trace the runes. There's sort of a. You can describe your turn if you want. If there's a burst of like moonlight from your eyes or anything like that, how does your divine, my deity empowers me to tell you to be gone? How does that manifest?
My eyes get super dark like storm clouds, and it just sounds like howling wind, like rushing out. It's not pushing anything, but that's just what it sounds like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what it sounds like.
And that's your action to cast it. Okay. So here's the funny thing about that. So they do both fail. So it shrieks and tries to cover itself from you and turns to run, triggering opportunity attacks from all three of you.
Yes.
Because I believe everybody still has their reaction. So it's not a good day for that guy. And Joe, the same thing is going to happen. You're going to hear there's a little bit of whispering, and then there's this howling tempest sound, just like hurricane winds. There's no winds blowing through the trees or anything, but there's just this roar of storm winds. And the one that's getting ready to stab you cringes a little bit and turns to run back toward the wagon, but that means he has to run past you.
Perfect. Well, I'll use my shocking grasp on it again as it's leaving.
Okay. Is that the spell you want to use? Technically speaking, I understand it needs to be a melee attack, but it's really dumb that if you have the window to attack and it's running away from you, that you can't.
Get it. If it
You
takes-
don't have to hit it with a
they
dagger.
take
It makes no
damage.
sense.
They will stop running.
Yes. No. I know. Damage.
So
will
let's
not
do
be-
the one in the cabin first.
Yes.
You see it start to run. Are you guys taking opportunity attacks?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You see them getting ready to cut the thing down. Are you going to take an opportunity attack?
I think if you don't hit it, it still has to run from you. Or-
No, until it takes damage.
Okay.
And then it's and then
Yeah.
it's no longer
It's
frightened.
no longer turned.
But we don't know that.
You're not a cleric, like
I'm gonna, man,
but she's
I want-
affording all
I
of these
want this
extra hits at
thing-
the moment, which
I
is
want
nice.
this thing. What can I do as an opportunity attack? Anything that I can cast?
If
it's,
you
it's
have an
an-
action, a normal attack or a reaction of some kind. Like you can like a normal attack is for the reaction.
Because I mean, if this thing is gonna take off,
Mm-hmm.
I just want it out far enough that
if
it doesn't-
if you have a spell that is a reaction, I think.
Yeah, it is a reaction.
Or
Well, the
Wrath of
reaction is
Storm
casting
my
a
reaction,
spell,
and
though.
I can't use it.
You've already used your
or
reaction.
an opportunity.
I haven't
attack.
used a reaction. I just Wrath of the Storm. It has to hit me for it to be my reaction. So I'm assuming that doesn't work.
Yeah.
No, unless it attacks you. But you can use your reaction to make a melee attack or a spell attack, as long as you have not already cast a spell and your divine turn is not a spell.
No, it just says I present my holy symbol and speak a prayer.
Yeah. 'Cause that was your action.
That was
Yes.
If you have a
I just
spell that
channeled mine,
counts as
that's
a
not a spell,
reaction,
right? That's not a spell, right?
Casting turn, no.
No,
Or
it's
Channel
channel
Divinity.
divinity.
Channel divinity is not
Okay.
casting a spell.
Sorry, all those watching. Be
No, it's
patient.
okay.
I've never played a cleric before.
It's okay.
I want this thing out of this space, so I'm
'Cause I know you-
gonna
It's an opportunity
them
attack.
to halt. I want this thing out of a confined space.
Okay.
And I can't.
Okay. That can happen quick enough. You guys can decide. She does her turn. This thing does panic and scramble out the doorway. You guys go to move for it, and she has a window to wait,
Yeah.
or however you want to word it. And then you guys can decide if you want to capitalize on it or not. But you do. There is a moment where that communication can happen.
I'm just gonna like brace and motion for you guys to wait. We can't fight like this. We need them out in the open. We can't fight in this confined space.
And that's about all the time you've got.
Yeah.
So you guys can decide if you're going to take the shots or not. What are you doing, Joe?
If it's going to turn, I need space from it, so I'm not going to do anything immediate.
Do you want to take that opportunity attack to hit it with a spell as it's leaving? Because it doesn't have to. What I was telling you is, mechanically speaking, that doesn't work, but there's no reason if somebody turns and runs from you that you can't hit it with a chromatic orb instead of, no, I have to touch it with shocking grasp.
I want to take my. I wanted.
can I throw this out here? Now that they're all running, if we get a free opportunity attack right now with the reaction, our turn is next. They took their action
Yeah.
already by running. We have a reaction to cut them down, and then our turns are next.
Okay,
So it's essentially 2 turns against them.
Yes.
I'm going to use frostbite against it then.
Okay.
So it is for them. It's a Constitution 13 saving throw for it to hit.
It fails.
Okay, so it's going to take d6 cold. It takes 3 cold damage. And it has disadvantage on its next attack.
Yeah, that's rude. Okay. Yeah. All right. That's your action. And you're taking
That was the
attack of
reaction
opportunity.
it leaving.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the reaction for it
Okay.
going.
All right. What are you guys doing?
Sorry, Tyranid. I'm going to do this. If I can get a good hit on him. And that's... if I get a good hit.
It could be more like, and stay out.
The gods must be with you, because apparently the gnome missed. What'd you get?
6.
6.
No.
Okay.
I rolled a 19.
Okay. You hit.
Yeah. So because it's a reaction, I don't get a sneak attack on it, so it's just a standard. Standard 3 damage.
Okay. You see Jagairis swing the hammer, and as it's getting out the door, that was what, your short sword?
Mm-hmm.
You take a swipe at it as it's going out the door, and you get it basically between the shoulder blades, and it just it falls to the ground and then is gone.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So top of the round then.
Mm-hmm.
So the one that you hit with frostbite is racked with pain and cold and turns around and comes at you. And it looks like it's just going to, it looks like it's mad enough it's just going to try to strangle you.
Sure.
But I thought on their turn they had a run.
No, because
It took
for the
damage.
reaction, with the attack of opportunity, the turn was broken.
Okay.
But it has disadvantage, right?
It does.
Okay. Well, unless a 12 hits you.
No.
Okay. So it's too slow to get its hands on you.
Okay. That's fine. That'll be okay.
Okay.
All right.
So, Tristan, you see that one disappear, and then out on the edge of the road, 15 or so feet from you, you see one of these things coming at Alamar. It is, I believe, a bad enough wound that you can see his robes around his leg are just soaked with blood.
Okay. I'm going to run out,
Okay, I was gonna say.
and 30 feet of movement, I'll move up to it and
Okay.
swipe at it.
Okay.
So short sword. Ooh, nice. 23.
Okay.
And
It is a new round, so you should have sneak attack.
Yep. Sneak attack. That's 4 plus. Oh. 6. So 10 damage.
Okay.
And then the dagger is a nat 20.
Nice.
And then 4 more damage.
Okay. So, describe the critical strike that finishes it with the dagger. You cut it and it takes some damage and steps away. Your dagger does it. What's
Yeah.
it look like?
So I just crossbody like this, daggers like this, and I just get it right between the shoulder blades.
Okay.
And drag it down.
Okay. Yeah, it howls in pain and then just it's gone. There's no puff of smoke or mist or anything. It's just there and then it's gone. And you hear there's just a moment. You're hurting bad.
Mm-hmm.
You guys, Tristan ran out. You've been waiting to get out, so I assume you're coming out too.
Yeah, I was right on his heels.
Okay.
And as that thing goes down, I'm just gonna cast Cure Wounds on you.
Oh, cool.
Okay. Which heals him for how much?
1d8 plus my spell casting ability.
Big bucks. Big bucks. No whammies.
So 11 points.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yay. All right.
Positive symptom.
Okay. So are you healed up? Are you feeling better now?
Well, that does help.
You guys.
But what
regroup?
about the wagon?
You guys regroup?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, he should be standing right. there,
Yeah,
sorry,
out in
That's
the
what I was
field.
asking.
I'm just making
In
sure
the
that I know
field.
where he-
Okay. Well, I'm pretty well down too.
Go move on to the other side of the cabin, away from the road.
But there's still they got their wagon in the road right over there too. We need to see what. Does that
There's
go away?
the wagon does go away. I'm going to roll back for a second because I want to do something differently. So you stab that thing and it reacts and it actually falls and clings to you
Mm-hmm.
and it looks like it's trying to hold itself up and it sort of runs down your body as it collapses and it's trying to claw its way and hold itself up as it's re-expiring. And it runs down your arms and across your hands, and it basically, as it finally falls away from you, that's when it disappears. And you feel something in your hand. After a moment of getting healed, and Jogaira checking on you, Tristan squaring up, I'm assuming, there is there's a whistle sound in the dark, and it's sort of this, it has an ethereal kind of just rolls through the fog effect to it. And you do hear a snap of leather, and horses start to walk and crunch on the gravel and whatnot, and you see the lights moving forward down the road towards you, and then they just fade out. The sounds are there for a few more minutes. It kind of almost sounds like the horses and cart walk right up and roll right up to you, and then it's just kind of gone.
Right. And what was left after he's done with all of his commotion?
It's an old scrap of paper from like a poster or something. It sort of looks like garbage, but it's just yeah, it's like a scrap of paper from a wanted poster or that kind of thing.
Okay.
It's just like the corner of it.
This will have to be looked at, but not at the moment. Who else is?
It looks sort of like, yeah, it's enough of the poster to tell. It looks like it's part of the image of a clown juggling, like just juggling like balls. It's not the whole poster, it's just a piece of it.
Yeah.
Show.
Yeah.
But you've got a blood-covered robe. Joe Gyra has a splitting headache.
Yeah.
I need.
Getting
Can
hit.
I cast Cure Wounds on?
You can.
It's okay.
Sorry,
Well, actually, you probably should use it on him, but
I'm good.
he's completely.
I'm topped off.
So sorry.
But
that's okay.
your pants and robe are just sticky and gross.
It's gross.
I'm gonna go ahead and use my last spell on Cure Light as well.
Okay.
So I'll just go and do that.
You have any more of that ointment?
Hmm?
Got any more of that ointment?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
So 6 more
Are
points
you
to me.
wounded as well?
Oh,
Oh,
I'm
well,
topped
then
off.
I cast it on you as well.
okay.
4. What the hell?
That is good.
Okay, so it's a poster
Mhm.
of the. It looks.
Are you going to take a minute to examine it?
Yeah,
Okay.
since we're all. I mean, if we're all. It sounds like we're in a safe position at the moment. Does it seem like everything is still in lethargic and everything?
Yeah, yes, the heaviness in the air and the weird sort of semi-dreamlike state that you experienced when you were on your own is gone. The fog is wafting the way it should. It's the noises from periodic crickets and that sort of thing is back. It feels normal. It feels like the window of whatever rolled over you is gone.
That was weird, guys.
I know what you mean. I think I'm gonna go lay down.
That was just really weird. I was up and you guys didn't wake up. And then these things came off the road.
Good bird, man.
It was an unnatural sleep. I could not rouse any of you when this came around. Whatever these entities were, they came up, they flashed the symbol of what we're looking for, and then I drew it back at them. They didn't like it, and then they attacked. So
Well then,
this has, whatever these things are, has some connection with what we're looking for.
Oh no. And that symbol, when they drew the symbol, is it a spell? Did it do anything? It's just like to identify?
What did he do exactly? Did he just?
It held up its hand,
Yes.
and it was on its hand. Give me a history check, Joe.
Okay.
Motorcycles.
It's amazing. They can't
Yeah, that one was
12.
really loud. 12. Recalling your recollection at this point, it looked like the symbol that you guys have, but there was more to it. And you can't recall the details. There's something supernaturally blurry about it. It's almost like you saw what you were expecting to see, and that's what your mind retained. But now that you're focusing on it and it's not a weird moment, you don't have adrenaline going, it seems that either it may have been something else or there was maybe more to it.
Well, on this tarnished piece of paper, if there's anything there, but I'll scribble.
And we keep talking about this symbol. Hold on.
I'll scribble the extra that I think I know or I think I see.
So it was different.
There was more
Yes.
to it. It was more elaborate. It's like an incomplete.
And they smelled you? I mean,
Do you share that part? Because no one was there for that.
You were awake, weren't you? No, yeah. No, they were
Just making sure.
oddly, strangely fast, and yes, it was an uncomfortable situation where they came up and they smelled me.
Okay,
They
so
smelt you. Well, he does smell
in-
kind of like a faintly of almonds.
Of almonds.
do.
Well, that's a plus.
in the Discord,
Bittersweet almonds.
there we go. That's the symbol you guys have. Joe, it seems weird. You don't
looks like a
remember if
cabin
it's
beside a road.
What?
if it's jittery or whatnot, but you seem to think that maybe there were lines below it, like maybe the bottom part was inverted or flipped, or maybe there was a second jagged line above it. There's
So that's
something
the
strange
symbol I'm
about the
used to
way.
seeing.
That's the symbol you're used to seeing, and the wooden one is supposed to represent the
The
branded
one
one
that's
that you
on there.
have. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. All right.
So that corner of the poster he has.
You recognize it immediately as a poster for Madame Eckard's Mythically Wondrous Traveling
Yeah.
Circus.
Yeah.
And
Oh, and that's the one that off to your.
it is a poster you have seen many times, and
Yeah.
even though this is just part of it, you know exactly what it is.
Okay.
And
Do you know
given
who
the situation, give me an investigation check.
who's the?
Someone's rocking outside.
14.
14. The clown is juggling
Mhm.
a bunch of balls. One of the circles of the balls has that symbol in it.
Oh.
The more elaborate or the basic symbol?
It looks mirrored. So it's the bottom, jagged line, and it has the part at the top because it fits in a circle.
So it has a jagged line below it.
No, you're looking at the symbol, right?
Yes.
So
So it has a little concave.
It's
line,
got the
and then
concave,
jagged line.
jagged line, and then an upside down concave because it's the top of the ball. So it looks almost like it's mirrored.
Okay.
But it looks exactly like that, and it's in just a small little thing. It's in one of the balls that the clown is juggling.
Finally, a break in the case.
I mean, but we don't even know where this troop is. Well, obviously we counted some of the troop, but
Let's see, what time have we got? Let's go ahead and take our break. So anybody watching, we're going to duck away for 10 minutes or so, just so we can stretch and top off our drinks in case the crowd decides to try to drown us again. Go fix the problems we have because the crowd was trying to drown us earlier. All of that stuff.
Yeah.
So we will be back. Thanks for coming and checking out the stream. Please stick with us, and we'll be back as soon as we can. We're going to go to break. Okay. And we're back. All right. So, yes, everything does settle back to normal. The normal sounds are there. The normal brisk bite in the air is there. There's sounds of bugs and things. All of the stuff that went away when the kind of dreamy state settled over the camp are all back. The fog is not moving unnaturally slowly or anything like that. As the crunching of the wooden wagon wheels and the hoof beats of horses that you can't see just sort of fade, everything seems to be back to normal other than what has happened. It is sometime in the way too early morning at this point. It's probably around 4 a.m.
There might be an opportunity for a little bit of shut-eye, but we're not going to get. It's not going to be a restful sleep.
No. At best, we can get a short rest in.
Yeah.
You guys can definitely get a short rest in. Are you guys going to actually try to recuperate and take a long rest? You can. It just means you start late in the morning. That's all. But that's up to you.
It's really up to how you guys feel.
I mean, you all are out of spell slots.
Yes.
Yeah, we expelled everything. This was a rather intense encounter.
Yeah.
So we could push it to try to catch up to that wagon and then make camp that night and hope that
Your expectation is even if you ride hard all day, you might catch it. You may catch it the following day
Okay.
because it's had a full day head start.
Yeah.
And you guys are moving faster because it's going to take an extra day to get there. But
I do think I would, if it's at all possible, and I say if gingerly because the three of you battered. It might be better if we arrive at the same time as the wagon so that we don't have to answer questions about why we're arriving separately. And
Yeah, if we can catch up.
you know what I mean?
Well,
Yeah. Well, we
as a
said we were gonna leave-
reminder, you sent word for somebody to come meet the wagon about halfway.
From my order.
yeah.
I'm not worried about answering questions from my order, just anybody else that might be.
And it still
Oh, wow.
has, you guys still have about 3 days, maybe 3.5 days ride.
Get back.
And the wagon still has a full 4 days.
Yeah.
So you guys you will catch it just before the halfway point, kind of, you think.
Well, we did say we were gonna leave early in the morning. We could go out now.
Are you guys in any shape too?
Yeah, just a little healing. I'll be all right.
Yeah, why not?
I like my wounds.
I just kind of chuckle at you and shake my head. The salve that I have, how much of it do I have?
Not dogs are kind. I remember that.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Hard to track when I don't have it on my thing. I have 8 written down.
8 is what it started with. I don't know that you've used it. I don't think you have. It's come up a couple of times, but I don't think you've actually applied any of it.
So as I'm looking at you guys, how wounded-ish are you? Would the salve be helpful to you, or
No, if anything, let's just take a short rest.
Yeah, full 8 hours sleep and they're fine.
If we take a short rest, just half hour, we can patch up any
Yeah.
immediate.
I don't even need that.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, we can. I mean, we're not going to be completely 100% as far as,
I
but
just want to rest for a little bit and then head out at
yeah,
daybreak?
Let's do that.
I would rather not be wandering around here in the dark.
All right.
Sure. Let's rest up until dawn.
That's a little short rest.
So you guys definitely get a short rest in. You guys get, by the time you're ready to go and packed up and everything and have the horses good to go, it's around 7, which gives you about 3 hours. It's just of rest, so it's definitely a short rest. You guys, whatever that'll do for you, go ahead and do it. I believe that does let you spend your hit dice if you need it. And yeah, it's just starting to get light, so it should be plenty safe to travel. Plus, you're on a road, so.
All right, let's get moving.
travel down the road. It's a fairly uneventful day of travel. You guys make really good time. You stay on the road. There's only a handful of other folks that you pass. Everybody seems to be legit and not highwaymen or bandits or anything like that. Yeah,
I will not tolerate them today.
Keep an eye out. I'd like, as we pass these other caravans, I'd like to keep my eye out for that symbol to see if we
Okay.
run across
Um,
anything.
All right. Since you're watching throughout the day, your passive investigation is 16 or 15.
16.
That's crazy, Tom. That's like
You-
really good.
Yeah. It's the passive insights and perception in this group are going to be a challenge for me. So you don't see anything being moved like that. It's of course you're unless you're going to try to stop and inspect the wagons, you can't see everything they have, but you don't see that throughout the course of the day
Okay.
in the wagons or on saddles or anything like that.
Mhm.
And you guys are not sure.
Are they coming from the direction, like, would they have had to have passed members of my order and the wagon to come to us, to get to us?
Who?
Oh, you could
The
ask.
people that were passing?
Some of them, yeah.
So,
They're coming the opposite direction. So yeah.
I just want to ask a few of them, hey, have you seen, other travelers matching this description ahead? How
Yeah.
far back did you pass them? Just to get an idea of where
You
they
get some feedback throughout the course of the day. There's not a lot of traffic right now, so it does stick out, and you do get information. At the end of the day, you figure you're a few hours behind them, so you should probably meet them early in the morning, or you guys can try riding through the night to catch up. But you figure you've got 4, maybe 5 hours, and you should be able to catch them.
Let's rest good and then catch them in the morning, sometime midday tomorrow or mid-morning tomorrow.
Yeah, but as they're already accompanied by others, so
Mhm.
I'm not as worried about catching up to them in case my order couldn't find them.
Because we hired that one guy to
take
escort
the
him
To run
message.
out, yeah.
or to
He's gonna
scout
take a
out
message so
Yeah.
that people from my order would come to meet them.
You do, yeah. So end of the second day, you guys do find it's sort of set up like a lodge. It's somebody's house, but they have spots for travelers to tie up their horses and shelter their horses. They have several spare empty beds, just sort of in an open dormitory type place. It looks like they sort of try to make a living out of it, but it's an actual sort of roadside stop where somebody does live. And that's what you find about the time you're getting ready to call it. You could push on further. There are stops or there are stops like you used last night regularly. That's what they're for. Or there are other houses that you could potentially ask for hospitality at. But this place looks like it's set up to do exactly this. And it's up to you guys if you want to try to push through the night and catch folks, or if you want to call it a
I'm
night and catch them tomorrow.
Good catch them tomorrow.
This looks
Yeah,
like
let's
a
get some
good place
rest.
to set up.
So we can get a long rest in. I think that's a good
Maybe
idea.
Go in and see if we can
Yeah.
get some lodging. Maybe they have get some food.
Yeah, true. That'd be nice.
So yeah, you guys, it's almost like a business. It's really it's informal because it's somebody's home, but it's they're expecting you to be there. They offer things like their sons will actually like groom and clean your horses if you want for a little bit of coin. The lodging is free, and you get the regular hints that they try to keep this open for folks, and they rely on donation and generosity, blah blah blah. They don't charge you to stay there, and they do make enough food. It's essentially just a stew in a big communal pot. So board and food are there.
Oh, that's nice. We should leave them some coin.
Well, how much you want to give them? I got 1,500 copper here.
It's not nearly enough. No.
Good lord.
What's the exchange rate? 100 to 1?
Yes.
100 copper per 1 gold?
To 1 silver. And then
think
I think it's 10 to 1.
10
Oh
to
no,
1.
it's 10. Sorry, it is 10. So it would be 101 for a copper to gold.
Yeah.
what you have is 16 gold at about in about a 30-pound bag.
Well, let's leave them some silver. I think it would be a couple silver for a night in an inn.
Yeah.
Okay, so 200? 300?
Yeah. Yeah, 300 I think is good.
Okay, 300 copper.
And they have some
Piles of coins.
they have some basic
Here we
provisions.
go.
they have dried meats and breads and provision type food that they make there if anybody needs to restock on that.
Yeah, I'll take another 10 days worth.
Okay.
How much is that?
Let me see.
Yeah. We all started with a little bit. Started a coin amongst the what else we started with.
The stuff that they are selling, it's 4 silver pieces per day you want. And they have an assortment of stuff. It's dried fruit, nuts.
I want to make sure that we have enough for room and board and to stock up on provisions. So instead of overloading them on copper, I'll give them a gold.
Okay.
I mean, they can keep the rest of it as a donation. I don't have any ability to do anything else healing wise for them, which I would normally offer.
You guys are approximately 2.5 days from Y. I don't know what your provisions look like.
I only have one.
Okay. A gold will buy you 5.
I've used all of mine.
We'll buy you 4 days worth of traveling provisions. So basically a day per person.
I mean, I can. Yeah, I'm.
I'll
trying
pitch
to
in a gold.
supply for everyone.
Okay. So then if you guys want to mark, you're probably not going to need more than the 1 day, but if you guys want to take 1 gold from you, 1 gold from you, 2 days of provisions for everybody, plus whatever else you guys want to do for these folks. They're not excessively nice or anything. It seems like this is a business to them. They are interested in trying to upsell anything that they can, like taking care of your horses or getting the tack off your horses and actually letting your horses sort of exercise without the weight on them, actually walk them around some for you. All of that stuff they're willing to do for you if you pitch in a little bit to help them pay their sons.
Yeah.
So you guys can decide what you might like and how much you want to leave them. The 2 gold buys you 2 days of provisions each.
I'll pitch in another gold for all the other stuff.
Okay. Yeah, they're absolutely happy. It looks like gold is not what they see a lot of, so there's some of that awkwardness of you put a gold on the counter and like, oh well, it's what is it you want, because we may not be able to, we may not have change kind of thing, so.
Yeah, I think I'll give him a gold for 10 days worth of food.
Okay.
If you don't mind.
A gold will get you, if you're going to buy a full gold worth of food, that'll get you 5 days. The going rate's been
5
4.
days?
Yeah.
Oh,
But
okay.
if you're gonna, with everything you're spending, they'll give you 5 days of rations for the gold. And yeah, there's a big fireplace with lots of seating around it. There are a couple of other folks that are traveling, but are just sort of background noise and other people in the room. But it looks like this place seats about 8 people, and there's your group and 2 other people here. So it's seems to be a fairly full night for them. So they
2
stay
gold
busy
it
making
is.
sure everybody's fed, making sure the fire's hot.
I'll see if someone can mend and wash my bloody robes.
Mend?
I was gonna say they
Do you have mend?
can't do as good as the two of you.
Oh, excellent.
I'm like,
I mean, you have
I don't have it,
you have prestidigitation though,
but
right?
that's not.
That'll clean your clothes.
Oh yes, clean it. But
Between the two of you,
oh yeah.
should
Oh,
be
perfect.
good as new.
No, it is good as perfect.
and it is healed, but that wound does still hurt. Not like ache
Oh,
or
that-
anything
yeah,
weird about
sure,
it. It's
sure.
just it was just a really
Weird
ratty,
supernatural hit.
yeah, jagged, uneven kind of thing. So
You have a
It's
nasty
cool.
scar.
I'll talk about that later.
I'm like, whoa.
and by the end of that day, Jogaira's actually got a really gnarly bruise across his forehead. Just like right up here, it almost looks like kind of like a widow's peak, but it's a bruise.
Ouch.
All right. Nothing eventful happens here unless you guys want to stir things. They do have. I'm gonna do this.
Any traveling carnivals come through recently?
Gosh.
Stayed here, come by.
And there's other people staying here at the same time as us?
There's a couple other travelers. There's two other travelers there together.
Yeah, we could probably investigate and see if they know anything. Why not?
Heck, we can ask. We're as far as the traveling carnival, if they've been by in the past weeks or months.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's nothing like
Days?
that rings any bells to
Okay.
them. No, they haven't seen any circuses or traveling troops or
It
anything
was
like
a
that.
long shot. I'm not surprised.
All right. Gonna warn anybody?
Mm,
Or you just sound crazy?
I don't even know what to warn them of.
Don't stay at that campsite because you're going to be
The
ambushed.
band just came out of the fog and kicked our butt.
We barely escaped with our lives.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could say just watch out for supernatural activity at this campsite. Carnies will get you.
Listen for small hands trying to open the door.
No. As I hide Joe Gyra behind me.
All right. So yeah, and they do have somebody that stays awake during the night so that people can, they're between them and their growing children. There's always somebody awake so that travelers can actually rest. There's always somebody watching the animals outside as well. So
We actually get all nice and rested up. So that's
Mhm.
good. Okay.
We'll determine it randomly. Jogaira,
Yeah.
make a Constitution check for
Constitution check.
me. Mm-hmm.
16.
At one point during the night, you do sort of wake up and toss and turn a little bit. Everybody else is sleeping. There's some snoring going on. There's the crackle of fire and whatnot, kind of through all of it, cutting almost straight to your ear. You do hear, it sounds like somebody outside's playing some kind of little jaunty tune on a flute.
Oh, for Christ's sakes.
It's just there for a little bit. It goes away on its own. It's not enough to actually disrupt your rest, so you do get your full rest and everything. But that somewhere in the dark of the night, in the middle of the late hours,
All right.
We might be unconscious when we sleep. Like we're only like super observant when awake.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely unconscious.
but it doesn't unsettle you enough to mess with your sleep. So
Okay. All right. Well, I'm not
Neither-
gonna wake up for it.
Neither you nor the other travelers, or the horses, or the person who's reading a book by the fire and watching the room who notices that you wake up. Nobody else seems to hear it. It sounds like
And-
music, not tinnitus. You were hit hard, but that's not what's going on.
Talk about an earworm. All right, I'm going back to sleep.
It's such a jaunty tune. Okay, you guys wake up in the morning, everybody's rested, you actually feel good from sleeping on like actual stuffed straw beds and everything, and not the ground or hard crappy beds there. So that's good. It was a good night. Everybody gets their full rest, so check that off. You've got your spells back. All your stab wounds heal because it's D&D.
So you guys hear that wonderful music last night? I got that earworm from that damn thing now.
Music.
You heard music last night?
Yeah, but nobody else seemed to be bothered by it, so I just went back to sleep.
Then you heard it too.
I
Heard
heard
what?
some music.
When you guys were all sleeping, I could hear music coming down the road
Oh.
before the people came out of the fog, and there was music preceding them. So if you heard music and nothing else, nobody else woke up. No one else
No one
could
else
get
worked
up.
out. The person over there was reading, yada, yada, yada.
He didn't hear it.
And he was already awake.
It must have been just a
He was
catchy
awake.
tune. How did that
Was
go
it?
again?
Yeah, that was it.
Can he repeat the tune?
We don't have the instruments, but
Well, can he hum it?
yeah.
Yeah, you would recognize it if you heard it again, and you can also sort of hum it to convey the.
Okay.
I don't have a song for it, but yeah, it's
Yeah, I'll hum a few.
it sounds the same. It sounds like a just sort of
Anyway.
generic little jaunty circus tune,
Okay.
And does it sound familiar?
and it's not Wonderwall, Mort.
That's right. Since we both at the circus, did it sound familiar?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ooh.
Sound of a
not
pop.
necessarily from that circus specifically, but it's that type of music. It's the type of
Okay.
music that players
So
would be playing.
song's
Yeah.
not familiar, just the
The-
type of
the
music.
But
style.
it could
That's
easily,
true,
it's
too.
not something that would have stuck out to you
Like,
years ago at
da-
this point.
da- 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 da-
Yeah,
da-
it's not quite like that.
Okay, but in the okay. So
Hmm.
they came by. They were here. Did anything happen?
I went back to sleep, so no, I don't think so. And we're alive. I don't see any pokes.
But they were here. And they came by.
They're tied to that symbol somehow.
Yeah, they are.
And I think now that they know that
They're
we
gonna
know,
Keep,
Well, I wonder if us having the symbol is what drew them to us in the first place.
the
Can
only
you-
physical. I mean, we have it on the parchment, the spells. I mean, the makeshift spell book.
But we
We
also
have it
it
on
on
the-
the piece
is
of the crate.
the crate, is that magical? Did you all look to see if there's any magic from it?
Take a look at it. See.
I could detect magic on if you want.
Yeah.
You gonna ritual that one?
Hmm?
You gonna ritual that one or cast it?
We've got time.
Well, what does ritual do? I don't.
It doesn't burn a spell slot.
But it's gonna take you 10 minutes.
Just
or
takes
so.
10 minutes. We got
Okay,
we
I'll
got-
ritual it.
We have.
If you're a ritual caster, I don't know if
Oh, that I don't know. Are you a ritual caster?
I don't know if
How do you know if you're a ritual?
artificers
It
are.
tells you when you're creating your character if you are.
Quick, throw it to the crowd. Are artificers ritual casters?
If you have that detect magic in your spell slot there,
Mhm.
it'll have R next to the
It
name.
should be.
You're able to cast it
Yeah, it says R
ritualistically.
for me.
That just means it can be cast as a ritual.
Because only
Yeah.
certain spells can be used with
Mhm.
ritual magic.
I have an
But-
R next to mine, so
But that just means it can be cast as a ritual. But are you
Yeah.
Well, it
versed
says
in
here,
casting ritual?
it says detect magic, cast, or are artificer.
Perfect. I think
I don't know. what else is
Artificers have the ritual ability from the start, and so can cast spells as rituals,
Perfect.
which I had to look up for myself, so I'm disappointed in you, Mort. I know you're out there.
prepared cleric spells
You
as
could have told
ritual if they have a ritual tag, so I can as well if they have a ritual tag.
Yes, clerics have ritual magic,
Okay.
but not all casters do. That's why I was curious.
I do not. I can't do. I'm not versed in ritual magic.
Do you want to work on that while I want to check on the people inside the main? We're in separate houses.
No.
Buildings. So it's one house.
They're just sort of, they have their own room off to the side. It's all one big
Oh,
building.
okay.
All right, since I'm doing this, anybody else want anything else checked out, like the symbol, the book, the whatever?
Well, I think they already did the book.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll put the book there. It's not. It's when you cast it, you should be able to see it for a few minutes, so we can at least look at it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure it has some magical parts to it for
and the
spell
paper,
work.
the poster paper.
Yeah, the
that thing
poster.
left you
Poster
with.
Oh yeah,
paper,
we
yeah.
can take a look at that. There's all sorts we can look at.
Yeah.
Paper with a symbol on it. Let's just do all that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Since I'm doing it anyways.
So, what are you looking at first? Because it takes
Well,
you 10 minutes. It's not a big deal.
The crate for first, sure.
Okay. There's nothing magical about the crate.
Okay.
piece
Switch
of
to
wood.
the book or to the paper.
The paper reads like a magically conjured item.
Oh shit.
Oh, the carnival page. Okay.
The carnival.
Yeah.
The carnival.
There's no magical properties to it, but it looks like it was magically created. So
Should
it
we
has
leave it here?
residual magic all through it.
I mean, there's
Or
no
it could be.
magic left in
I
it,
mean, it
so-
could be a beacon for them to trace us. Who knows? I don't know.
It could be also be a beacon for us to trace them. If we have to find that spell, but I'll have to see if I got it or not.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'll hold on to it. Sure. There might be something else we can
Okay.
use it.
How about the paper with the symbol on it?
We don't have a paper.
That
with-
was the like the little carnival parchment that we got
Yes.
from.
Yeah.
That was it. And then what about the spell book from Paul? Those pages. I'm sure.
Make an actual arcane check.
Actual arcane check.
This is
I don't know
letting
why I
you
have
see
to look
what
it
is
up. 'Cause
there.
I should know this, but. Oh, perfect. 23.
23. There is broken or incomplete magic in that symbol. Like it
Oh.
was magical at one point or is
written.
starting to be magic, or maybe magic put it
Maybe that's
down
why
on the
I find it, 'cause
page
it
and it's
like,
not.
should have
the
been
right one.
complete.
I
It
see.
wasn't right. Okay. Well,
But
we're just
there
gonna have to
there
do some
is
research to
sort
find
of
out.
fizzling arcane there.
Fizzling arcane. I'll write that
Fizzling
down.
arcane, I like that. Okay.
Fizzling arcane.
So we'll have to do some research and see.
So the arcane reached its half-life.
Effervescent arcane.
I'm gonna use that at the bedside.
Arcane, you're soaking in it.
Have we reached the fizzling arcane point of this dose?
All right. Anything else of note that you can see, Eric? That's
Anything else you want to wave in front of the gnome before the spell's gone?
this and this.
Wow, you kind of light up a little bit.
The gnome is looking through a fishbowl.
That's just.
There's still some residual magic from where Tyrnild's chainmail was mended, from where Alamar's robe was mended,
Okay.
stuff like that.
Is there anything else on me that looks like it has magic?
Nothing that you were unaware of. No
Does that
surprise
doesn't
magic.
have any problem? I would doubt it. It's just crystal. To be drawn to the crystal. No.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's look at the crystals real quick to be sure.
The crystal does seem to have a strange property in that it's sort of
Should I?
seems to have a prismatic effect on arcane. So as your spell is sort of hitting it with weave magic and arcane to detect if there's magic there, it seems to just sort of bounce and roll around through the fractals of it.
Ah, fascinating.
Does this have the same property? The pendant?
Yeah.
Yep.
Same kind of crystal.
What about the moonstone
Hmm.
that they
Oh,
done?
that chunk of moonstone.
The bloodstone?
Or bloodstone.
Yeah, I know what you meant.
I was like,
Yeah, that's the one I checked. It
Wearing
has a
moonstone.
prismatic effect to it.
I'm wearing moonstones. What are you talking about?
So, okay.
So the
I think
bloodstone
we
is
scanned
normal.
everything I could scan.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't see anything else that we have that we need to look at.
There's a couple of magic items that resonate some kind of arcane power on the other two travelers. It looks like they have a piece of gear or two that may be arcane in nature. It's not armor or weapons or anything like that, but it looks like they have a couple of arcane doodads with them for when they travel. There's nothing in this home that's magical.
Okay. All right. Snap out of the fishbowl, and I'll be all right.
No one else, not the homeowners, the other travelers, nobody else heard anything.
You take a few minutes to ask everybody. Nobody. No, I must have slept right through it.
Do they find it weird that that's what we're asking?
I mean, if they didn't deal with people traveling through all the time, you do know that you do get told that nobody in the home is a musician, so nobody was.
Up playing or anything?
Yeah.
I'll ask the homeowners, I guess, if they're aware of any circuses coming to town.
Oh, there's usually a couple that come through, every year or so, but there haven't been any recently.
Or anytime
Nobody's
soon?
sent word that they're coming through. No.
Yeah, okay.
That's usually a spring and a fall kind of thing.
Hmm.
And the horses and things are fine outside.
Jace, everything seems fine.
Okay.
I don't know why you guys are so tight. Everything seems fine.
Okay. Perfect. Great. Great. Let's.
It's not like I had a map for this place. I mean, it's fine.
And so let's go to.
And why don't you?
All right.
Let's catch up to the wagon.
Yeah, let's go to the wagon then. All suspicions done. Let's go to the
Good
wagon.
heavens.
So you're leaving? You're not staying around anymore?
I know, we're gonna catch up.
Oh
with
yeah,
that.
exactly.
Pack
You
up and
should
get out.
have.
We're gonna catch up with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Early in the morning, while you're going through all this and getting everything ready, you have arcane, correct? As a proficiency, as a skill? No? Okay.
I have a +1 to Arcana, but it's not a proficiency.
Okay. Based on your order, it's going to be something that you're familiar enough with. You receive a sending spell.
Okay.
So somebody distant is sending you a message. And it is from Cedrin, which is the widow, the old man that mans the curio shop with you.
Mm-hmm.
And sending spells are very short and limited. So what you get is received word, sending help as you requested. Are you okay? We will hurry to meet the wagon. You can respond quickly if you need something. And you know by the nature of the spell, for a brief window, you can reply. But you're also...
The nature of a sending spell means that they're sending it in that moment.
Yes. It's basically, you can think of it as long-range telepathy. Somebody is magically sending you a message, and there's a moment where that link, where you can reply, but you have the same limitation. No more than 25 words.
this is a problem. If they haven't sent anybody out to meet the wagon, then who the hell's with the wagon?
Well,
It's only been 2 days, which is what the guy promised he would ride day and night to get there in. So he just got there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, makes sense.
yeah, we're okay.
I thought we asked the people traveling if they saw the wagon, like, accompanied by people up ahead of us.
That wasn't the question. The wagon they have seen, because it's a wagon full of sick
Then
people.
I must not have spoken loud enough, because that's what I asked.
No, then you would not have been told there were people with the wagon.
Okay.
They have seen the wagon. The wagon is still traveling and
Mhm.
appears to be fine, except for it's full of sick people.
Okay, then I'm just gonna say, we're okay.
We're okay. We'll be catching up to the wagon in half a day.
Oh, they don't even need to know that.
Yeah.
Okay, see you soon. End call.
Am I getting?
Seems like such an arbitrary limitation, but it's pretty funny to have people work on it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say that, we're okay. That we have much to relay when we get there.
Okay.
We have much to discuss.
Okay.
Or I have much to report, because that's not, yeah.
And with the nature of the spell, you know there's a connection there. There's no reply, but you know your message was sent and received. Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. So you guys, you guys are riding. It's another day riding. If you push your horses, you figure, from what you were told, you've got 4 or 5 hours. So you should probably catch up to these guys around noon or a little before. Anything you guys want to do or interact with while you're riding? You
On
good?
the way to the wagon.
You guys pack up all your stuff. Everything's fine. Nothing's missing. The horses are well taken care of. They've been brushed out and everything. Your saddles and stuff have been wiped down. You guys, they seem to have taken as good a care of you as they could. You guys were fairly good customers and dropping gold, so.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good. I got rations. I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, on the way to meet the wagon, I just keep the same watchful eye out for that symbol for other caravans.
You guys riding in a particular order, or just kind of?
I'll ride ahead.
Okay.
Right out
I'm
front.
gonna ride last.
Okay.
Just watching.
Look, I'm gonna ride the
Totally.
square.
Totally.
You don't have to ride on,
Triangle
and you
for
don't have to have an order. I'm just wondering if you're all bunched up and riding and talking, or if you're spread out, or if somebody's riding point, or
Spread out to avoid the fireballs.
what. Okay.
The rain of arrows that time. Yeah. Be able to
Joe, you notice a couple hours into the ride, there's light breeze. It's a little windy. You guys are outside. A couple of people have gone by. It's no big deal. It takes you a moment to pin it down, but you hear up ahead of you, Jogaira seems to be absent-mindedly humming that tune. Real low. You can barely hear it, and it took you a moment to. No, that is the tune. Yeah. Jogaira's just riding along.
No.
Ow! Damn you!
Okay, so a mage hand flicks you in the air.
Sorry. No. I just don't.
That's
I don't want
enough
it to
commotion
be-
that you're all aware of it now, because there's nothing happening. So,
Alar.
Shit. What the
I
hell,
thought they
dude?
were coming again, but it's coming from here. So no, sorry. I just I thought they were coming again, and that's the same tune.
You were humming the same music?
Yeah, it's a catchy earworm.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, I'll
thank
tell you what, when we get back to town, we'll go to the bar or the tavern and we'll listen to some bard play a smooth tune. Maybe I'll get out of my ear.
Okay. Yeah.
But right
Something
now,
else besides that.
Something else besides that.
well, why don't you sing?
I'd rather no. No.
No.
You're quite charming. I bet you'd be good at it.
That's some performance, but no.
I'm sure those horns will kind of resonate really nicely.
Like pitchforks, yeah.
Like
He hasn't heard that one before.
pitchfork.
Like a tuning fork, yeah.
You mean the tuning fork? No, I meant what I said. Alright, so around midday, it's late morning coming into midday. You guys are riding at a decent clip because you're trying to catch up to somebody. You do see the wagon that you dispatched from Brusque that has it's full of arrows. It's rolling on through.
Oh, right. Are you
On
telling me
fire.
before new undead? Yes.
On fire with the bard playing that tune.
Seems
No, it's-
perfectly normal.
They're on the road. It looks like they're not taxing the horse, but it looks like they're moving at a decent pace. Yeah.
I will immediately want to assess the patients.
Yeah, you guys can catch up to them, no problem. You guys, this thing's not trying to outrun you, and it couldn't if it wanted to. So, yeah, you guys do catch up. The farmer's son is happy to see you guys. Yeah, he stops for a rest and lets you guys assess the patients.
Are they still the same?
They're still unhappy. Make medicine checks or healing checks,
How
rather.
happy could they possibly be?
20, dirty 20.
Okay. Two of them look like it's just a man and a woman. Look like they have gotten worse. They're not. They're way less comfortable. They look like they haven't been able to be comfortable enough to sleep, even exhausted, in well over 24 hours. They're not doing good. They look worse than when you last saw them.
Nothing.
Well,
Maybe some of that ointment can help them until we get to your order.
Feel better.
I don't know if medicine will help stabilize or keep them from getting worse. I don't know.
How
Can I-
far or how long are we from Y?
But they still.
In the wagon, 3 days, because it was going to be 5 days in the wagon. So you're at about the 2.5 day mark when you catch them. The horses can do it in 4, but the wagon takes 5.
Yeah.
Can I tell if the salve would even do anything for them?
You don't really know. You could try, but you don't know.
Where they were wounded is still visible, right?
Mhm.
Well, especially for the man and woman, none of the healing
Does the wound look
potions or
necrotic?
anything. There
Yeah.
was, when we examined it before in Brusque,
Yeah.
there's traces of
Yeah.
necrotic or whatchamacallit,
Necromantic magic.
yeah, in them, but
But if we can apply some of this to help them
Yeah.
until we get to your order.
I don't know. Cut out the bad. If it's dead. Cut that area out and then put the.
Their wounds seem to be healing.
Okay.
They just
so it's
don't.
deeper than that.
yeah, Shamoon and I had tried to do.
Yeah, I know you guys had. As long as we can keep them stable on the way. Or just wait for them to.
Well, the problem is if they do die, then they're gonna turn immediately.
Right.
I mean, I'll try using a little of the salve like
You just
directly
have to be
on
quick.
the wound itself,
Okay.
just gently applying it and then putting clean linen over it. Just
Okay.
hopefully.
As you apply it and you're examining, you're proficient in healing, right?
Medicine.
Medicine. I keep conflating them. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's no check required between your arcane knowledge and healing magic and your skill. You can see that it's doing exactly what it's supposed to. It's healing the area and working its magic to mend the body. It is incredibly dramatic, and I'm not going to act it out, but it seems to be absolutely agonizing to the woman when you put it on her arm. It is doing good, but it is
Put alcohol in the
there's
wound.
yelling and screaming and
Oh, no.
thrashing around.
Oh,
It's
We'll do more.
it's really, really dramatic and not
you
good.
keep writing ahead with that one.
It's-
Why don't you sing a comforting tune?
Dun, 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 dun.
Chasing
Circus
Alamar.
clown, circus clown.
Is there anything on their clothing or on them that has a symbol on it?
No. No. And for the test of that, you used 2 points of the ointment. You used just a little bit of
They're
it.
visibly better at it?
Well, the wound is, but not them, right? So
Right,
am I
correct,
understanding
yeah.
that correctly? So
Yes.
the wound is,
Oh, but they're still
but they
infected.
aren't, and she's.
Oh, I was hoping it would help heal the infection. I mean,
I knew it wasn't
systemic
gonna.
infection.
I knew it wasn't gonna heal the infection because otherwise, Shamoon and I would have been able to do that
earlier on.
in the
Okay.
bruising. But
So
I
you're-
don't want them
you're
to
certain-
die.
Right, and you're certain that it is doing what it's supposed to, and it is doing good for the body and the healing. But it is
Whatever the
apparently
disease is not the disease.
absolutely agonizing.
Will it prevent them from dying in the next 3 days?
Their wounds at this point, their wounds aren't lethal at this point.
It's whatever.
I mean, it's
the
physically
disease
healing
is.
the wound,
Yeah.
but what's afflicting them,
It's
what
disease,
infected
yeah.
them, is not. And for some reason,
And whatever you're using, the salve is not. Won't help the disease.
Kind of acts like you're using radiant magic on them.
Using what?
If we push the horses really hard,
well,
if like
we're-
2 of us grab the 2
Mm,
sickest and push the
starting
horses
turn.
real hard, how fast can we get to?
It would still take you probably a day and a half. The reason the other guy made it in 2 days is he has stations where he changes horses.
Yeah.
Other than that, you're sort of at the limit of the horses. You could make much better time if you just flat out rode just the 2 of you, or 2 of you with
Yeah,
passengers.
that
but if
members
they-
of my order are coming out
Yeah.
Yeah.
to meet us.
So
So
While
yeah,
we're
we could
we
meet
just
riding-
need to keep them
halfway.
stable until.
While we're
Really good
riding,
conceal.
I want to use detect magic on her to see if it's increasing the traces of the necromancy magic that I detected before, if like that's gotten worse, or if it's, I don't know, just anything about it is because it's not physical harm.
Mhm.
So I
Um,
just sit there, like I'll tie my horse to the back of the wagon and I'll sit in the wagon and just, concentrate over them and examine them for
Okay.
10
You
minutes or
gonna
however long that takes me.
for the ritual?
Yeah.
Okay. Since you're trying to do this in a moving wagon, make an arcane check.
Six.
Total?
Yep.
It's not going to work in the wagon. It will work if you stop for just 10 minutes or so. It's just too much bouncing around and shifting and them moving because they're uncomfortable and whatnot. If you guys stop for just 10 minutes, you
Yeah.
can do the
Yeah.
ritual and then
You can
move.
break
I'm gonna
for-
motion for that.
you can
Again,
break
just
for 10
halt the
minutes.
wagon. I need to
Yeah.
concentrate.
stop. It was just to see if you could do it in that environment. That's all. So you guys,
Yeah, we can break
you guys
it
stop
down.
for a few minutes. You do the ritual. You cast detect magic. You through all 4 of them, more or less, you can see that it's almost like being able to visibly see somebody's circulatory system. It's just there's veins of this necrotic magic running all through them. In the woman who was bit in the arm looks almost completely just like a photo negative, just completely consumed by necrotic magic. And the other one that is in bad shape has a leg wound, and his leg as well. It to you, it sort of looks like they're both about to lose those limbs. There's nothing indicating that specifically, but it just looks like that magic is just heavy, real heavy through those places.
I don't think there's anything we can do. We just have to keep going until they can be seen.
Yeah, there's nothing they can do. Except sing a nice song.
Another one. You must know. You know dwarves, you know other people. It's
Yeah, let's
got to
just
be so many other songs you can sing.
hope that whoever is sent from my order can do something better than I can. And I just am sitting there like looking totally defeated.
The driver does tell you if you guys rotate with him, you guys don't need to stop the wagon, but I don't know how. We're going to have to stop to let everybody rest at some point.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, we can take turns driving, obviously.
Yeah, but I put a lot of stress on the patients.
But it's one or the other. They either have an easy ride and die, or they have a harder ride and they might lose a limb.
All right.
But
Yeah, let's push.
yeah, we have no choice. The faster we move in this direction, the faster we connect with
Yeah.
members of my order coming at us.
Okay.
And hopefully they have the magic to be able to
So
counteract it.
when you guys are riding and it's becoming night, the rest of you you can rest in the wagon and let your horse come with the wagon, switch out with the driver and let the driver then rest. But you guys are riding. So at how far into the evening do you want to push?
I think as far as we can,
Yeah.
Sure.
you know. I mean, you guys can take turns resting in the wagon and your horses can walk behind.
Yeah.
I'll drive as long as I can stay awake.
Okay.
I mean, and we can see, you know what I mean?
This is a sense of urgency, so we're going to push.
Okay.
Even if we get
Yeah.
exhausted.
Yeah.
So then just everybody give me a constitution check and see how well you do with this rotation and pushing. You've got adrenaline and
What did you add to it?
Your Constitution saving throw?
yeah, just constitution modifier plus the roll.
Okay.
15.
13.
12.
20.
You guys get to you've got somebody with you that'll actually help. Yeah, you're going to push through the night. You guys are going to be ratty in the morning, but you guys are able to push through the night. It gets to be about, it's sometime after midnight. It's the middle of the night. You need to eat and you need to rest for a little bit. You need to get out of the saddles and walk around. You don't necessarily need to build a campfire or lay down or anything like that, but you guys have got to stop for a little bit, and basically you need to take a short rest or you're going to start suffering exhaustion.
Okay. Short rest.
Short rest ain't too bad, half hour.
Okay.
Stay awake.
Yeah, everybody, you're all tired, but unless somebody wants to slip in a cat nap, they don't have to.
We need to keep moving.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys stop. You have plenty of provisions. The driver does take the opportunity to actually just sort of lay on the bench of the thing and actually sleep.
That's fine. I'll do it.
Just like the 30 minutes to an hour while you guys are stopped. He zonks out. The patients are still, they're not resting. They're moaning and shifting and they're uncomfortable and whatnot.
I'm just gonna say prayers over them while we're stationary.
And you guys get something to eat. You're glad to be out of the saddles for a little bit. You stretch some, walk around a bit. And Jogaira, you notice something really weird. You're just sort of staring out down the road and you're stretching a bit and you're watching the evening mists swirl about and whatnot, and you see the mists visibly just swirling, just start to move real slow. You hear the song in your ears. Just a pipe. Somebody playing a pipe down the road.
You guys hear that?
Hear what?
Music. Who's playing?
Again?
Where?
No.
Wait a minute. Fog's moving
Listen
slow.
for it.
Do we see, when he mentions it, do we then notice the fog moving weirdly?
You notice the fog, and in the moment of looking at the fog and focusing on it, you hear the piper and you hear the faint.
Let's
Two
get off-
arms.
Let's get off the road with these people. Let's get them away. Let's move off.
Yeah.
So you're gonna move the wagon off the road?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is there any
We need
kind
to
of,
get them out of Dodge.
There's
trees
not a lot
or-
of heavy growth or whatnot, but we will say if you, somebody will need to make a, we'll call it a survival check, because there's also, that's not something they have a skill for. You can get the wagon off the road
I'm gonna leave the dragon on the road.
and sort of into a culvert and kind of out of sight a little bit. Just no more than about 20 feet off the road, because you don't want to take it completely off road, or you may never get it out.
I want them hidden as much as we can hide them.
Yeah.
That's basically the only option to keep them hidden from the road.
Okay. Let's do it.
It's creepy.
I was trying to get
Creepy as
into
fuck.
our epidemic sound to find music for this, and I couldn't log
Yeah.
into it on any of
There
my
you go.
devices. So
Yeah, that's so creepy.
Yep.
I
Yeah,
think-
let's get them moved.
How dark is it out?
it's pretty dark. You've
So-
got moonlight to go with, but there's a little bit of cloud cover, so visibility is okay, but distance is.
The last time that he heard the music, he went back to sleep and did nothing.
We were.
The last time, right, but I mean, we were in a building last time too. I wonder if we don't interact with them.
Yeah, they stopped at the cabin where we were at. They were.
I'm just
approached
sure
them,
avoid
but
them.
they were stopped there. I didn't know if they were going to stop and go, or let's just get everybody moved first and off, and we'll deal with them if they come looking.
Are they coming? Is the fog rolling in from the direction we're traveling?
Or
No,
behind us.
you're hearing the sounds from behind you.
Oh,
We could
They're
probably,
not ahead of you the direction you're going.
Okay.
Okay.
So we could probably maybe stay ahead of them.
yeah.
Just so we
I
can-
thought that they were ahead of us. And don't want to pass them. So I think we should definitely keep riding, but keep an eye on if they're gaining on us
Yeah.
or.
Okay.
And we can all visibly see the fog, or is it just?
Yeah, it's once it's pointed out to you, yeah.
Okay.
And like I said, once you guys focus on the fog, you guys can all sort of hear the jaunty traveling music. A piper is playing.
We can't see
a
anybody.
hand
though.
drummer.
Okay.
Not yet in the
let's
fog.
Keep going then. And if it's gaining on us, we should get out of. the
Yeah, how
way.
fast does it look like it's moving?
Yeah, you just hear them off in the distance.
Is
You're
there
not sure.
more cover up ahead of us?
No, it's all sort of kind of open highland type stuff. That's the terrain you're in.
Well, I say we go forward, veer off, park, let them pass.
They're still a ways behind us, so we can
Just keep on going. If they
Yeah.
get close enough, they'll move off.
Okay.
Do you want me to hang back or something? Or
No,
okay.
most definitely not. I'm just
All
worried
right.
we won't have a place to pull off.
That's good because I
that
didn't
we
want to
can hide
anyways.
the wagon. Up ahead.
Well, if we meet the members of your order, there will be more of us.
How far off is that? A day or two? A day or so?
Hard to say.
You don't know.
At this point, I don't know.
Okay. If they're gaining, we should pull off.
We'll keep an eye on them and
Okay.
head off.
So you rally back up and get back on the road.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna ride last.
Are you going to be back on your horse, or are you going to
Yep.
be in the wagon? Okay.
Nope. Gonna have them move ahead of me and I'm gonna go last.
Okay. You guys get to moving. It does sound like the music fades for a little bit, but then it picks back up so that you can hear it, and you can hear it since you're the two that are in back. You usually ride point, but I'm assuming you're staying near the wagon. You guys can all eventually hear it, and you see behind you the lights of a carriage lantern just starting to light up through the fog.
All right. We gotta find a place.
Well, maybe we tell the cart driver to keep going,
And we head
and
them
then
off.
we circle back.
The two that are really not doing well, the woman with the arm and the man with the leg, sit straight up in the
Oh,
wagon.
We gotta tie them down.
And they are attempting to get out of the wagon, even though they probably can't stand on their own.
Are they still alive?
Yeah, they're not acting like zombies.
No, but they're being persuaded by the music or
Oh,
whoever
I
it
was
is.
like, what?
Oh, that is me.
Um,
I don't know who's at the door. Somebody probably ordered food.
okay. Well, with one of them, I will probably going to work the best, but with the guy who's in the wagon, I'll try to get into the wagon off my horse. I'll try to hold him from one arm, and I'll create the magic hand and try to hold him back from the other arm with that. If he's trying to get up and out.
Okay. It's tricky, but you get off of your horse and into the wagon on the move without hurting yourself. It's dramatic, and if it had gone wrong, you could have wound up under a wagon wheel, but it goes fine. You get in there. I do need you to make an athletics check to just sort of hold him down.
I'm so good at that.
That's okay. I'm going to give you advantage because he's sick.
Can we? Anybody rope in their pack?
Oh, well, I did get a 16.
Yeah.
So 16.
Okay.
Oh, and with advantage though?
With advantage.
16 still.
Okay. You rolled the same thing on both dice?
No, I got a 10 on the other one.
Okay. All right. Okay. So yeah, you're holding down. You're using Mage Hand to sort of keep him off balance. He.
Toss ropes at you, like to.
He
tie
does
down.
seem. You can tell he's trying to get off the wagon. He's not just stirring and thrashing. You know that that's what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's trying to pull against your arm and whatnot. And what he does is he turns, and he grabs you, and he slides and pushes you out the back of the wagon, and you're ass over tea kettle on the road now. You see Alamar come out of the wagon and hit the road in front of you. You're not going to run him over or anything, but you see him come out, just tumble out of the back of the wagon, and the guy is trying to scoot with his
I'm
bad
gonna
leg.
motion, or spur my horse on to get to the back of the wagon as fast as possible.
He natural 20 jumps.
Oh, no, you're
Even though he's sick.
Yeah, just to get to the back of the wagon as fast as I can.
Okay. Yeah, you
I
get there as
think
he's
I have rope in my pack.
as he's just starting to hang his legs off, and he's looking at you like he's really mad.
Oh, shit, I don't.
Oh, here, I'll reach into my bag and bring out the rope and throw it.
Yeah. Just anybody throw me rope if you have it. Like whoever. Like,
I'll throw you
from
my
him
rope.
And try to tie him down. Like tie him into the wagon. Like the back of the bench seat and loop it around his waist so that he can move around, but he can't get out of the wagon.
Okay. Well, he's basically got his feet hanging off the tailgate, his legs hanging off the tailgate at this point. When you get up there, you have the rope. You've been given rope. When you get up there, it looks like he's ready to basically just scoot off the back. That's where he is when you get there. So what do you want to do?
I'm gonna have to get into the wagon and move him back. I mean, I can't let him get out of the wagon.
Okay.
Um,
So give me an athletics check to see if you can get in there quick enough to grab him before he hops off.
18.
Nicely done. Okay, so you're in the wagon. He's out of it and moving slow. It looks like he's trying to use the side of the wagon to scoot off of the back, but you get your footing and everything, and you're down on a knee to stable yourself. But yeah, you can get him before he actually gets off of the.
Yeah, I just want to.
And that
Try
you
to
see
drag him
the
back
woman
some
is
and-
trying to crawl forward as well
Yeah.
off the back, but she's nowhere near the back yet.
How long is your rope?
50 foot.
Huh?
50 foot.
Okay, I'm gonna try and lash both of them together at the waist, and then tie that to the bench seat.
Okay. Give me an athletics check. You need yes.
Are you proficient in hog tie?
You need a. I'm proficient in harness.
I'm proficient, yes. In wrangling.
12.
Okay. You are able to secure them. The best that you can do with the way they're moving is you've got them sort of around their torso. They're not immobilized in any way. They're just sort of tethered.
Yeah, that's.
You have been there's not enough strength behind it to actually injure you or anything, but you have been kicked and punched 3 or 4 times, so you're beat up and sore. It's not an injury. It's not like getting stabbed, but I mean they're unhappy and they're fighting you. They're trying to kick you away and punch you. And a couple of the shots have caught you in the arm or the cheek around your chainmail. But yeah, they.
Okay. I'm gonna get back up on the horse.
Okay.
And
Do I see them? Do we see them in the fog or anything yet?
Just the lights to the wagon, and you know that with the speed you're moving, again, it's not like you're flat out like you're chariot racing or anything, but at the speed you're moving, somebody would need to be moving quickly to keep up with or catch you. It's not.
Okay.
But you still hear
gonna
the
stay
piper
in
and the
the-
hand drummer.
I'm gonna stay in the wagon for the moment.
Okay. And everybody feels the same sensation you did at camp. Everything sort of goes into this dreamy state. It really feels like something heavy just kind of falls through the air. The horses just sort of gradually come to a stop, and they're calm. Even the ones you're riding, and there's a really heavy stillness in the air, and the only sound is you guys.
Well, I have to take a stand now.
And there's sound of music, and
Do I see them yet?
not, you see the lights of what would be the wagon.
all right, everybody, form a line.
Let's get ready.
And just like before, and it's only a few moments, so it's like they were just out of eyesight. You see the piper and the drummer walking out of the fog
How far away
Playing.
are they behind me?
They're fast.
from the wagon.
Yeah.
You see them about 60 feet out start to be silhouettes.
I'm gonna jump out of the back of the wagon and head towards them.
Okay.
Well, since my horse stopped, I'm getting off my horse.
Okay.
Drawing my mace.
Yeah, the horses seem calm, but they did just sort of come to a stop, even though you didn't want them to.
Can I get to 30 feet away from them?
They're approaching you. They're still walking. They kind of have a little dance to their step as they're playing. You can start to see details of them and whatnot. They're not just silhouettes. And there's somebody playing a wooden flute and
I want to cast Bane on them again.
Bane. Okay.
So I do the same thing that I did before as I'm tracing the symbols on my necklace, and it just sounds like hurricane winds coming out towards them.
Okay. What's the save for that?
What?
This
Hold
could be
on.
one.
Oh, I don't. Well,
Charisma 13. Is that right? Save. Charisma?
Yes, 13.
Oh wait, no, that's not what I wanted. I'm so sorry. I want to do turn undead, not Bane. Sorry,
okay.
and that's DC 13.
Okay.
Or
So
wisdom.
wisdom. Okay.
I said charisma before because it was the wrong thing. Sorry.
Okay. So yeah, there. You have your "you shall not pass" moment. However you want to illustrate that with the storm wind noises and everything. The music stops for a moment, and the one playing the flute clutches the flute and turns away from you and runs back into the fog. And the drummer stands there just sort of frozen for a moment. And then just starts walking towards you again. And you hear the wheels on the gravel of a wagon somewhere behind him.
Okay, so I can see the drummer.
Drummer's visible.
Firebolt.
Okay.
Want to roll Nish, or you want to do this?
No, at this point he's just dancing.
He's gonna be coming running now.
All right.
AC
again,
15.
I have to
That
get as
hits.
far away from this as I can. Take reactions.
9 points of damage.
9. Okay. All right. Yeah, you hit him. You see fire streak through the misty night, and it hits the drummer. And the drummer recoils and shrieks, just in pain. And then you see him throw his baton and drum down, and stand up straight, and then just lets out another higher pitch, just shriek, just straight up. Anybody else want to do anything in that moment?
Crossbow.
Murder.
Okay.
He's like 30 feet away from me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
And about
I will cast this
about
spell.
50 feet from the rest of you, because Tyrnil did move out
Yeah.
ahead of
15.
15 hits. Okay.
I'll cast this spell as well.
5 damage.
Is it possible that I can
I'm
make
going to use Frostbite, so it needs to save Constitution 13.
Oh, does
We
not.
hit. No.
Does not.
Okay.
Where's that die I lost?
So 4 damage, and it has disadvantage on its next attack.
Okay. You see it shrieks. You guys, you shoot it. You hit it with frostbite, and ice forms all over it. You see it shake a little bit from the cold. It does not stop its wail, and it wails for like 10 long seconds. And you hear murmuring and commotion and clanging, like there's seems like a lot of people are disembarking from the wagon.
No.
Uh-oh.
All right, I'm gonna get up abreast to her.
Okay.
I'm like, we have to get the horses out here, but the horses aren't moving. Okay.
Will they move? If we
no.
tell them to move?
You guys didn't.
You can
move.
try.
You
Like I
guys
said, they
didn't.
don't seem.
Well, no, wait. Once the shriek happened, they were kind of around. Did the horses come back to senses after the shrieking?
No, they're just standing there. They seem perfectly calm.
So I'm gonna yell.
What
at the
about our driver, our other cart driver?
He's in the seat, terrified, and he's trying to get his horse to move, and his horse is just kind of shifting around a little bit.
So
it's
that's
taken
evidence that the
it's
horses are
taken a
not
couple of
responding.
steps, but
Okay.
it almost seems like the horses are just kind of dreamily and lazily kind of.
Son of a basket weaver. Okay.
That's a good one.
All right, batter's up.
Yep.
I don't like this.
Let's fight. That's where we
I
make her
don't-
stand.
I don't like that there's more commotion outside the fog. 2 is enough. If there's more, this is terrible.
And
Well,
you
the
do
commotion's coming from the wagon.
Yeah.
Our
the
wagon.
commotion's coming from
Their
Oh,
way.
wait.
their wagon.
Their
Yeah.
wagon.
Over their wagon.
yes.
Yeah.
There's
I'm just
dismounting
guessing
occurring
there's
from
going to be
their wagon.
more than just the one who's fleeing and the one we've just pissed off.
Could the ones in the wagon hear me? Were they close enough to hear me?
Alrighty then.
Are we in initiative?
We will be shortly.
Yeah.
Damn it.
So you do see other shadows stirring between the lights and the edge of the fog. And there are all sorts of weird shapes. There are a couple that there are 2 that are ridiculously tall and thin. There's one that looks like they have shoulders like a bear and they're carrying a barbell.
one's correct
Um,
right
I just wanted to
now.
make sure.
Yeah, I
You're
think- I don't know if
seeing
it's
the
shorter
silhouettes
than that,
in the shadows stir
Yeah.
of
Okay.
like a circus crew.
but yeah, I don't know how long you have to
Great.
rest before you can do it again, but it takes the same slot.
Okay.
And they mill up and start to come up to where the one that's wailing. You're guessing there's a dozen or more of them.
No.
And
Nope, we can't do this.
they sort of form up with the drummer that has been beat up, and you can see the specters of all of the circus stereotypes. There's somebody there juggling. There are 2 people that look like stilt people. They're really thin and they stand about 9 feet tall and have tall hats and
I'm really wondering if we haven't interacted just with Captain Gilmore.
I know.
Well, last time we interacted with them, they tried eating us.
But that's
Um,
because we interacted with them.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if we had hidden.
But it's too late to. I mean, it's not like we can flee because we're going to be leaving those people behind. That's what we want to do.
Well, I'm not too sure I want to make my last stand here.
through the fog echoes a very snappy, unnatural voice that almost it has that pitch and timbre of almost like somebody speaking backwards. And it just sort of cuts through everything as these people are milling up and sort of forming up to be a mob to protect their drummer. And you just hear this, it just sort of snaps out, and everybody's still formed up. There are a couple of others that have moved in front of the drummer, and again, you see all of the usual circus stereotypes there. And there is a pillar of bright light behind them, and you see the lights of the carriage that you still haven't seen sort of rock a little bit, and you see somebody coming through the crowd, and to the front of the group comes a tall specter type woman that kind of looks, kind of has the hair floating in the air like she's underwater, wearing a white tattered dress with alabaster skin and dark eyes, fitting a lot of the stereotypes of what a female human banshee would look like. And she floats up, and she's not huge or anything. She floats up to the front. She touches the drummer, and there seems to be some kind of silent exchange that happens. And you see her pull her hand back, and she clenches her fist, and just real quick she just flashes and turns around to face you guys. And she scans over all of you, and she starts to float forward fairly slowly, like less than a walk, closing the distance that's about 30 feet to the group.
Oh, she's gonna smell us. No,
Joe's already like,
The cabbage and almonds are back there.
If we take that geode, throw it out there, could one of you launch a spell into it? And see if it refracts out?
Nothing that would. I don't think guiding bolt works like that, but I think
do we want to talk to her first?
I was gonna say yes because she stopped them.
well, we're at the 3.5 hour mark. I mean, we could just call it.
Okay.
She stopped them from.
We could. It'd be a great place to stop.
She probably healed the drummer.
Right.
Likely, yes.
She looks unhappy.
Well, if she's defending her troop, of course she's happy.
She is
Well, then
glowering
maybe
as
they
she
shouldn't
floats
attack
towards
people
you.
in their sleep. We wouldn't react to them like that.
I don't know what to say to these people. Okay.
I think that's exactly what I would ask her. Who are you, and why do you attack people that are sleeping? Because we were sound asleep when they attacked you. You tried to tell them to move on.
People back in the wagon too.
Well, he flashed the symbol.
Which admittedly could have been bad.
This seems to be aberrant for up yours.
I mean, they showed it to you first.
They
like,
did,
you
and
know.
I'm all like, well, there you go. And it's like, well,
Yeah, I'm not gonna move anywhere.
Okay.
I had run up.
I'm gonna say,
or
well,
run back. Closer than these guys. I think.
Yeah.
You fell back to get about a 20-foot distance and 30 feet from them.
Mm-hmm.
When all of this happened, they have all moved up. You guys are all right there. You
Yeah.
guys have grouped up. You're 20 feet from the wagon and 30 feet from the circus.
Okay.
And this woman is moving forward at the rate of about 10 feet a turn, basically. It just seems like a really cautious,
You have cure.
deliberate slow.
Say, what do you
healing
want?
spells?
just a couple.
what did you ask?
I'll say, what do you want?
You're just going to say it out loud?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, he does that. I want a motion. Will you?
We are human, so.
Will you go back to the wagon by where the patients are? Your firebolt can reach. I just to heal them if they do anything.
Well, if they do anything, it seemed like if I get hurt by my mace.
Okay, that's the window that you guys have. So she's floating up, and you're the one that breaks the silence
Mm-hmm.
with what do you want?
Yep.
And the same supernatural speed, it's just a blur, just pow. She's right in your face. Given that it's in the moment, give me an insight check.
10.
Okay. She's furious when she darts up to you, and it looks like she stops and she regards you. And there's no grappling or attack or anything. You see her actually sort of give you about an extra foot of space and float back a little, and then regard the rest of the folks that are there. But it seems like your engagement drew the attention to you. Since you're good at it too, give me an insight check, but you were doing something else, so it's at disadvantage. Lots of motorcycles revving outside. Yay for the audio filters. 8? Okay. You see the same thing. You see there is a change in her countenance, though, in her composure. She floats up. It just basically the first person that made noise, pow! And then there's a calm, just sort of a calm change. And then she steps back, and now she's regarding the rest of you. There is a moment of silence. You guys can do something if you would like, but in that moment of silence, the sound that comes through are the people uncomfortable and dying in the wagon. Their moans, their discomfort, their whimpers. And that seems to draw her attention for a moment too. She's watching all of you, and when that sort of becomes the predominant noise, you see she looks past you and looks to the wagon as well.
I don't see how can't have done anything else. Let's just give the people to her.
What they want.
What do you want with our people?
She flashes a glance to you when you make noise. She eyeballs all of you, and as far as I know, it would be you. She points a long finger at you and points at your bag.
My bag.
What do you have?
Do you have the book or does
Who has the book?
he?
He has the book.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. I got a golden rings, got some bracelets, got potion, scroll, gold.
Scrolls of what?
The hint I'll give you is what are the last things you were interacting with?
The geode.
Bloodstone. There was not anything magic about the bloodstone.
Bring out the geode.
She seems to not even see it.
From the Bloodstone then?
Oh, the poster.
The poster.
You have it as far as I know because you were the last person to interact with it.
Yeah, you're right. All right, I'll bring out the piece of the poster.
She looks at it. And she puts her hand out.
Give it to her.
Okay. She takes it. She looks at it and she tears pieces of it up. And she reaches over slowly and puts her thumb on your forehead. Back away.
Yeah.
She leans away. She turns to you. She puts her thumb on your forehead.
Okay.
She scrapes her thumbnail across your forehead and drawing blood. And she drags it across the piece of paper. And she hands you the piece of paper back, what's left. And I will give you a visual on that when we play next. But she has torn away everything except for that ball that had those things in it.
Uh-huh.
And she has smeared blood over pieces of it.
Oh, probably creating a new symbol.
Yeah.
She looks like she's marking things off, but she gives that piece back to you.
Okay.
She she gives that back to you, and she runs her thumb through her hand, and there's no more blood on her hand. And then she reaches over to you again slowly, and she runs her fingers across your forehead, and the wound heals. There's still blood on your forehead from where you bled, but the scratch no longer hurts or anything like that.
Okay.
And she looks at you, and give me an insight check. The nonverbal is going to be tough.
11.
11. You see, there's nothing really coming across, but it seems like she's trying to convey something to you. She's not just assessing you or sizing you up. It looks like she's trying to non-verbally get something across to you. And she looks to you, and then she looks past you to the wagon.
No, you can't have them.
Let us see that.
We're taking them to get healed. They're just innocent people.
She just looks at you and tilts her head. Just
Well, I don't trust that you're not going to harm them. You harmed us while we were sleeping.
okay. There's a hiss, just a. And you hear in your mind, and the way it manifests in your mind is like the voice of a sweet old lady. And what you hear is, "My sweet thing, I'm not going to hurt them." And then you see, once that connection has been made, you see she winces a little bit, like it taxes her.
She says she's not going to hurt them.
Right.
Given what you've told us about your previous interactions with them before.
Yeah.
I still got a headache from that.
Maybe
They
They
could have
don't
overrun
like-
us by now if they wanted to.
I'm gonna look at that piece of paper.
Mhm.
What did she do?
It looks like she has sort of scratched out the top part of it and drawn another line on it. It looks like she changed what's there. But she needed something to ink it with, so,
Yeah.
you know.
So I wonder, because the symbol that we have has that one squiggle above the boat looking thing.
Mhm.
The symbol that they showed has the two squiggles, right?
Mhm.
It was like a mirror image of
Yeah.
the symbol, right?
Yep.
So she scratched out the top part of the ball, or the sphere,
So it's just the
and put a line through it.
bowl-looking thing and then two zigzag lines above it. All right, I'll take her back to see them, and then I turn back and look at her.
And then, she did heal my forehead.
Right, I'll turn back and look at her and say, but only you. Members of your, and I pause, and then I kind of look back at her, party attacked my friend for literally no reason. I don't trust that they're not gonna hurt anybody. And I kind of slowly back up to indicate I'll go back with her to the wagon.
Okay.
Even though she can wisp herself there instantaneously.
You sure about this?
Well, no, but nobody else is back there with them.
That's
so
what's left.
Yeah, the cart
She
driver.
crosses
and
off
them.
the top part of the
cart
ball,
driver's
basically,
another innocent
where it looks
person.
like it was mirrored. She crosses off part of that, and there's blood running down the side. You're not sure if it's a drop of blood or if she meant to draw it or whatnot, but it's the bowl, the lines, and she nods, and she turns to face her little retinue of circus folks, circus ghosts, and sort of in unison, they all take one step back. They're still there, they haven't gone anywhere, but just all together, kind of as a crowd, they just all take one step back. And she turns and she regards you just.
Yeah. So I, just turn to make way for her to go back to the wagon.
Okay. She goes over there, and you can see folks are still uncomfortable and stirring, and
I'm gonna. Well, I'm willing to bet I can't keep pace with her, obviously, but I'm gonna follow.
she's moving deliberately slowly. She's moving like you can walk it.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk with her.
She's
over the
moving
wagon,
at about a third of walking pace. So
that I can watch what she's doing. I'm genuinely curious about what she's doing, but wary.
she, as she's approaching, she's regarding all four of them. The farmer's son is crouched down in the driver's seat, just peeking over the back, horrified.
I want to motion. I don't even know if he has any weapons, but I just want to motion to him to just don't move. She's already said she's not going to hurt them.
All of the horses are still just calm, like they're just standing out in the sun having a great day. And the people in the back, they're uncomfortable, and it just seems like it's what you've been hearing the past day and a half. They're uncomfortable. They're moaning. They're whimpering constantly.
The child wasn't trying to get out of the wagon, right?
The
Just
child
man
was
and
not.
woman?
Just the man and woman. The one that you looked at that looks like they were essentially ready to lose limbs to this magic. The man is fighting the ropes and trying. He doesn't have the strength, but he's trying to untie the ropes, and he is repeatedly pleading to go with her. Oh, just let me go. I'll come with you. I can't do this. I've been hearing you calling, and you're beautiful. And he's just delusionally, just fevered.
Siren.
Yeah, he's just out of his mind and ranting. He's the one he has scooted to the back of the wagon, which, because of the way you have tied them, has more or less pulled the woman away, sort of like a pendulum, because he is pushed forward, it has pulled her away, but she looks like she's also trying to, take me as well. And she, the specter from the circus, gets up to the man who is almost, he can't get to the back, but he's like on his knees trying to get off of the wagon. And she just regards him, and she looks him in the face, and he calms down. And she just puts her hand on his cheek for a moment, and there's this really just sort of long, awkward moment of them just staring at each other, and he's got tears welling up in his eyes, and she's just regarding his face, and then there is an absolute primal scream of agony, as with her other hand she has it on his leg, and you see she claws him and pulls away, and it looks to you, because you're right there, it looks to you almost like she's just pulling his viscera and blood out of him like strings. But it's not his blood. She's pulling something out of him, but the visual is it looks like she's just pulling string and viscera out of him, and it is absolutely horrifically agonizing for him, and he screams until he just exhausts and passes out. He just faints from the pain. And she throws it on the ground, and it mixes with the dirt and smokes a little bit, but is just this. It looks like hot tar in the dirt. And she turns and looks at you, just to see if you're doing anything.
No, because I'm understanding that she's basically extracting the infection. I
You
guess.
saw something come out, but you don't know what it was. And for a moment, it sort of looked like something from a horribly graphic movie, like somebody grabbed a chunk of somebody and blood flew everywhere, but that's not what happened. It just sort of, in the dark, that's the visual of these things being pulled out like cables.
Can you heal the rest? Or remove it from the rest? I can heal them physically.
Insight check.
And
Total of 10? Okay. She... Yeah, it is. It's in moments where you can take the time to assess a full thing. You know, if you've got 10 minutes to toss a house, then you get to use that.
I know.
So she turns and looks back at everybody else that's behind you. All three of you make an insight check. The two of you make perception checks.
So good at that.
But yeah, you ask her if you can heal the rest of them, and she turns and looks, and I mean everybody's behind you. Her people, your group.
16.
16. Okay.
15.
11.
11. Okay. Yeah, and you guys see that. You're about 30 feet away. You guys are a little tense from the scream and everything. However, Tyranild is right there, and Tyranild doesn't seem to be like wailing on this woman or reacting or anything. So there's just a brief adrenaline spike, and okay. And then you see there's an exchange, and she turns and looks back at all of you. You two you're fairly certain that what she turned and looked at is Tristan. But she turns and regards everybody behind, and she turns and she tilts her head at you. And she nods. For a moment, you see her concentrate and start to push again, and you hear the sweet old lady's voice in your mind again. I can't do anything about the discomfort, though, dear.
cast heal wounds at the same time. I gotta ease the discomfort.
Or
I don't have any bad there.
And again, in the sweet old lady voice, she concentrates and you hear, I can remove the ailment, but there will be pain.
Yeah.
Pain and cookies.
Keep going.
People, I am at my wit's end. There's nothing that I can do to get rid of the ailment.
Okay.
I mean, I can work on healing them physically after.
She lays the guy who passed out against the side of the wagon. She grabs his shirt and lays him down and pats his chest. The rope is jerking on him as the girl is trying to climb to get closer. The one that wants to go with her. She is not strong enough with how sick she is to actually drag this guy back so she can get closer. But she does the same thing. She reaches.
Can I reach the rope to untie it?
You can, yeah.
I untie it to make it easier for her to move to the specter.
She, with the woman trying to reach out, she reaches out and grabs a hold of the top of the forearm of the woman's bad arm, and she tilts her head and regards her silently, face to face, and does the same thing. You see her drag her nails into the forearm, and just pull, and yeah, it's just there's awful, just blood-curdling, traumatic screaming. It hurts that bad, and the woman, just like the man, passes out from the pain of it, and she takes this stuff and flings it, and this stuff just sort of just vaporizes in the air as she flings it.
Okay. As I'm listening to this, I'm kind of, it's everything that I can do to withstand, like listening to them being in pain and not
Yeah,
being able to help them.
I'm trying not to be overly graphic, but
But
it is awful.
I mean, tears are just streaming down my face. But I hold up my hand to them to signify, like, it's like I'm trying to tell them that it's okay, like to not,
To these guys,
yes, to
Yeah.
not do anything.
Yeah.
And I'm trying not to break composure.
you notice, you guys see it because you're further back, but you notice that the driver from the front is gone. You guys saw when the woman was screaming before she passed out. He jumped off the side of the wagon and friggin' bailed off the side of the road. He
We'll find out.
couldn't do it. It was bad enough at that close that he panicked and ran.
Yeah, I can barely keep from losing it in terms of just being not horrified per se, but it's just so
Yeah.
awful.
It's you seem to have an understanding of what's going on. It doesn't wash away the fact that it's awful. But yeah, and she does the same thing for the other two. The worst one is the child, of course. But the child, once he passes out, he's breathing heavily and everything from being exhausted. You can tell everybody is alive. They do have physical wounds from there's on the leg, on the arm. The other man, it's on his chest. It looks like she basically had to pull it out of his lungs. And with the boy, it was his arm as well. So
Can I put the salve, whatever I have left remaining of the salve, equally on the three of them?
Yeah. It'll close up the wounds. Plus, it'll make sure that there's no infections or anything. So yeah, you can cross that off, and that's fine.
Oh, she looked like she knew you. Do you know her?
And she steps back and
see.
just kind of regards you. It looks a little sad. Not like disappointed type sad, but just kind of a melancholy sad.
Is there anything that we can do to help you?
She turns and looks back again. Give me another insight check, this time with advantage, because you're watching her real close.
Natural 20.
Nice.
What is that?
She turned for both of them?
No.
Oh, okay. Wow, nice. Turns and looks back again. And you can see her circus crew kind of milling about, and it looks like they're actually sort of slowly just meandering back to the whatever the wagon is that's always lost in the mist. You can tell this time that what she's looking at is Tristan. You're certain that what she's looking at is Tristan, and
Oh no.
you read a great deal of sadness and remorse on her face. And she turns and she just looks at you and says, and you hear in your head one word, "Be safe, dear. Don't travel at night."
I kind of pause for a second. Do you know him?
There is a really sad smile, just kind of and she turns and at a normal pace, faster than she has been moving, but like at a walk, turns and moves back. And yeah, she floats up to and past you guys, and she goes around you to give you a wide berth. She does make eye contact with you, and you, with your insight, see that she doesn't look mean or angry or anything now. She looks sad. She looks very, very melancholy. She doesn't say anything.
Does she look familiar to me?
Uh-huh.
Go ahead and give me an investigation on that. Or no, go ahead and roll insight. They're probably close to the same anyway, so.
No.
Oh, how bad was it?
A 1.
Oh, wow. Really? Okay.
6 total, but
Okay.
It's an automatic
so
fail.
sad. So sad. I've got +5. 6.
I know.
No, it's a tense moment. You're still not sure if there's going to be combat. You don't know what's wrong with your horses. You're not entirely sure what happened in the wagon, but it's some of the just worst tortured wailing you've ever heard. So you're not sharp like you usually are. As far as you know, she's sad that she's not gonna murder you guys and feed you to her crew, but she seems sad. There's, she floats back into the fog, and the lights dim, and you guys hear the carriage sounds just kind of fade away. It doesn't sound like they walk past you or anything this time. It sounds like it's just walking away in the distance. But the lights fade, and there's hoof falls and wagon wheels on the gravel, and then eventually it's gone. And at some point, you guys didn't notice when it happened. At some point, the fog is moving normally again at this point. And your horses seem to be acting more normal. They're still standing where they were. They still seem like they're nice and calm, but they're kind of
responding
shifting
now.
their weight a little bit
Yeah.
and looking around.
All right, you know her.
And you've got plenty of time, and you're
I know
proficient
that,
with it.
but
So with
Tristan
the medicine check, they all seem to be more exhausted than they were. But as far as a medicine check will tell you, there doesn't seem to be a lot of change in their condition, other than they were just put through a lot of stress.
They're still sick.
At the moment, yeah. Well, it's been a couple of minutes, sweetie.
Oh my god.
Would you like to try detect magic? again?
Yes.
Okay. What you can tell is there are only residual traces of the necrotic magic being there. It's not in there. It's just sort of a resonance of it had been there. It is gone. It looks like this creature she physically tore the necrotic magic out of them. But because of how prolific it was,
Does my arm look the same way?
in regards to,
I was injured by them also. I had faint traces of it
Mhm.
in my.
it's no worse than what they have left. At this point, it's been a couple of days, and it's just residual.
Hmm.
You guys did not get the infection, so
That's why I was trying to compare it to the, if it was.
yeah. No, it looks
the
looks
same as
like
my
it's
arm had been.
residual resonance that's fading.
So let's find our.
All right, what just happened? Somebody tell me.
And
I-
the rest of the party, you guys definitely do this part, but the folks are going to be exhausted and
Yeah.
stir a lot less. And your driver does come back. Your horses
Okay, good.
are fine.
Yeah,
You
it's
guys
like
are all
rolling.
absolutely exhausted from trying to push yourself. But at the moment, it seems to be okay. But yeah, definitely do that because you weren't there for what happened. Yeah.
So I am. My appearance, as you guys can tell by now, changes with my emotion. So I look like I am soaking wet. My hair, like I literally look like I'm soaking wet. I'm just covered in rivulets of water that are just trailing down, and you can't tell whether it's tears on my face or I have water pouring down. And it just, she clawed out whatever was infecting them. There's barely traces of it left, but not in the same way that it was before.
guess I'm gonna look over into the bike and see if they're still alive.
I was able to start healing their wounds. She knows you somehow. She didn't tell me as much in words in my head.
Coming back?
No. She said to be safe and not to travel at night. But when I asked her if she knew you, she looked just so sad, almost resigned. No words or no acknowledgement really of whether she did or didn't. But could you hear her? Could any of you hear her?
No.
No, she was
She sounded like a sweet little old lady.
Wow.
She sounded nothing like she looked,
Well, considering
but she was.
the link between this troop and Madame Tussauds, I may know her. But I don't know.
That's
That's
what
the
I'm
only
wondering.
connection that I'm making at the
I
moment.
couldn't tell. I couldn't tell anything. I'm sorry. I couldn't tell anything other than that, and I really couldn't think to ask anything else. It was all I could do to stand here and stand upright because it was just awful. But I do think that they're going to be okay.
They sure didn't sound okay, and she definitely was focused on you. So I'm really confused on what just happened here.
And you did not ever actually meet Madame Tussaud because it's was her show, but she wasn't like the ringleader or anything like that for the performances. But she was a little elderly lady that ran one of the best circuses in this area.
All right. So you encountered the first time they tried stabbing us.
Well, but I
That's the
think that the symbol.
riled
Set
them
them
up.
off.
No, right. I think it set them off. Like
Huh.
I think because we're carrying the symbol, they wanted to know whether we're with them or not. But I don't think that symbol now. I don't think that symbol represents them.
We have to find out what this means.
What is?
And I'll bring this out and said she scratched out the top part of it, the upper part of the bowl, if you will, and can't tell if that's a blood spatter down there or if she physically.
And it's really small because it's from the poster.
Right.
So the picture of the ball is
Right.
only about
Yeah.
this
Very
big. But she scribbled out the top of it.
Perhaps when we have more light, I can examine it with my magnifying glass.
Hey, look, that's me on there.
Right.
So, I mean, perhaps some.
We
I
have
mean,
to show this to my order as well.
yeah.
Is there anything left in the dirt from the stuff she pulled out?
The stuff it's
Okay.
and with your arcane training, the arcane energies can't exist on their own.
Right.
And they were basically just pulled out into the air.
Okay. So nothing to take us.
Wait.
I say we get off the road, but I think it might be safe for us to rest as long as we're not on the road.
She said don't travel at night?
Yeah.
That's just general travel advice.
Your local undead. Okay.
And she's from AAA, just making sure that you understand that you cannot travel at night.
You're in good hands.
We have no extended warranty.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need.
She
we
was
need
the
to-
dealer.
we need-
She was the call person for the extended warranty.
we
We've been
need to
trying to
rest.
get a hold of you about your. Is that what the first one was? Getting really up close and actually trying to whisper in my ear. We've been trying to get a hold of you about your car's extended warranty.
You flashed the no soup for you.
Yes, and they were very angry that I rejected it.
Right?
So, but maybe somebody with the, I don't know, this incomplete symbol or bad symbol did something terrible to this troop.
Maybe.
And they reacted poorly.
Yeah.
So we have to find out what this thing
Yeah.
means, what it is.
Agreed.
Okay.
Yes.
And I think on that note, we're going to wrap it up. So we'll pick up where we left off. We have a schedule posted. I don't think it's going to be next week, maybe the following, but we will definitely keep a schedule posted on our Twitch for the next time Shadows of Earthspur or Shadow of the Earthspurs returns. We have other campaigns and stuff that are running as well. On Sunday nights, we usually have Prismatic Dragonflight Tavern with our crew that has been doing that for quite a while now, and the amazing GM that we have, Kira. So check them out as well. They're an amazing crew doing fun stuff. And for Halloween, we will have several upcoming events. We're not sure what we're going to do. We're going to do a couple of spooky things, lots of funny things. So we're going to try to have as much activity out as we can for that holiday because we love Halloween. Halloween is fun. So again, thank you for watching, and yeah, take care of each other because we're all we've got.